All right, everyone, welcome in. It's week 4. Christian McCaffrey is in Germany. AJ Brown is tweeting videos of Goku recovering in a hyperbaric chamber. You're making bids on Tyler Bidet for your fantasy for your managed league teams. We are in it. We are in it right now, Liam Murphy. This is our Wednesday co-stream video where Liam and I look at our Best Ball Mania portfolios. We do some kind of draft on Underdog. Liam, I got to be honest. 30K up top in Best Ball Resurrection. 50K, I would be a little bit more. I mean, I'm going to look, don't get me wrong. I am going to draft some of them because it's fun. But you can win the same amount of money in BR as you can in these.
I wanted to add Roshan Johnson is now a 75% fab guy. Like that's week 4 to your hyperbolic chamber, AJ Brown. Yeah, I mean, people have been asking me, am I going to have rankings? I mean, the contest dropped yesterday. Yes, I will have rankings. And I agree with you, man. I would have liked to see a 50K to first. I think they've done 100K to first in the past. But we're definitely going to be doing resurrection drafts. I just think, content-wise, it allows us to talk more. It also allows us to talk about how we view players, past, present, and future, versus just optimizing for a battle royale draft. How did that week go for you, man? I think I got kind of I have a lot of Ayuk. That one didn't hit. I have a lot of Jamar Chase. That helped. And then I got a garbage time Zach Moss touchdown, which the Chase Brown versus Zach Moss was actually closer to a 50-50. Moss just kind of got a touchdown at the end of the game in that game, which was that makes sense to me. Opponent based. They wanted more Moss against the Chiefs because of their pass rush, and they're not going to necessarily do that every single week. But yeah, I mean, my advance rates still aren't great. I mean, it's still super wonky. Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara are 50% plus advance rate guys. We got to get a bigger sample here. I pulled some tweets on some guys that I think that Davis is going to pull up and we're going to talk through. But how was that week for you, Davis? Not your best from what I've been seeing you tweet through.
Yeah, I mean, my teams are just dead. My teams are just dead right now. I'd be surprised if I advance. If current usage trends continue and injury stuff doesn't go in my favor, I'm going to advance 15 total teams probably. Because I just don't have any Barkley. I don't have any, or my best Kamara team has Bryce Young on it. The Chiefs aren't scoring any points. Chase Brown looks good, but isn't getting any high value touches. Jalen Warren is dead. Rico Dowdle is dead. Debo,
those two guys are not dead. I think Warren played 70% of the first half snaps and then got hurt. So that is just unlucky.
Well, famously, guys who injure their hamstrings in the preseason and then injure their knee in the regular season, very famously, those guys, they just get healthy again.
And then Rico, what I would say on Rico is, okay, he hasn't fallen in the end zone yet. Those games are going to come, and he is trending up, and Zeke is already trending down.
Well, the issue for if you were a Zeke drafter or if you were a Rico drafter is that they're playing a fullback. A fullback,
yeah,
was their actual highest snap share back of that game.
And he's getting 20-yard catches.
Yeah, he's running routes down the field. So yeah, I mean, look, you only need one. And I might only get one, so that's kind of where I'm at.
I've never really approached Best Ball Mania as how do I advance the most teams? That's really never been my mindset. Some people do, and I think you draft differently because of it. I mean, I advanced below expected the year I won BBM. Full screen me right now.
I was in Firefox, which means I can't share the tabs correctly. So I'm back in now.
Okay, so can we not look at those?
No, we can. So I was in Firefox, now I'm in Chrome, so that I can do it. Yeah, the thing about having a 6 CMC team is your team is dead.
Yeah,
It's not happening, bro.
Like, okay, let's talk about those guys first. Like Debo, optimistic he returns pretty soon. Cup and
Sure.
Puka, optimistic they return week 9 to 10. Like they are getting a shot to return.
That win against the 49ers, if you were a big Cup
Huge.
guy or a big Puka guy, really couldn't have had a better result, because big difference coming back on a 1-7 Rams team where like Matthew Stafford is pondering retirement versus a 4-4 team that like could win the division because you just stole a win from the 49ers. Very, very different things.
And like the dropping the 49ers to 1-2 just makes everything more attainable for like Matt, this is what I called Matt Stafford, is like, you know, the guy who boxes and his mindset is just like, I'm going to get hit a bunch and you're going to get tired out and I'm going to win. Like that is Stafford to the T. He's like, you're going to keep hitting me, but I'm going to get you. And then, yeah, CMC feels like uber dead, like nearly Pacheco levels of
I would, the over under of 0.5 snaps this year, it's got to be -110 both ways, basically. Like, seems very unlikely that he plays football this year, or maybe ever again. Maybe ever again, you know?
What is the correct ADP for him in a resurrection draft to you? What round?
Like 10th round, where basically like the pure handcuff guys come in, like guys who might be zeros in, like wherever. I did one yesterday, and I assume the ADP has already switched, but like where Braylon Allen starts going.
I've not done any yet. I mean,
yeah,
like, okay, if that is the correct ADP, he'll still go as like a 6th or 7th round pick. I was gonna say on the Rico stuff is the real like short-term bummer is when you're drafting Rico and Zeke, you were not getting Zach Charbonnet. And so like, okay, you got, you know, like Charbonnet smashing right now. Is that going to continue? Like Walker's going to return soon. So I don't know. The injured guys, let's pull up the first round picks here, Davis, and talk through. And we're going to call this segment a higher or lower versus their current advance rates. And, you know, I just want to, like, all this stuff is heavily skewed where Jamar Chase has literally only had one good game and he is a plus advance rate player and he's had 2 duds, you know? So like we're going to see Tyreek Hill trend down probably. Jefferson's had 3 good games, why he is number 1, but let's just kick it off with CMC. I think that's a pretty easy lower for me.
You know, the thing is Eckler's advance rate last year was 8%, and he was basically CMC from last year.
But
you know?
I would say CMC teams built as if he was a very important piece, more so than Eckler teams. And so, like, you know, like I built some like CMC teams where it's like CMC, and then my second running back is like Braylon Allen, you know, and like Ray Davis. So it's like like that's the leftover running back.
I mean, those teams are dead. They're dead. Lamb teams, I mean, that 18. I mean,
I think that one's going up.
So the thing about that going up is that he's clearly behind Justin Jefferson, I think. So Justin Jefferson teams are going to make, I think I would expect Justin Jefferson teams to maintain like a 25% sort of advance rate, something like that, with how bad the other first round picks are. Like Breece Hall, I don't think will maintain a 21%. So
no, I think he's like, in my mind, the only guys who have a contention to be the number 1 overall pick right now are Lamb, Chase, Jefferson, Breece, and maybe like Bijan if you want, whatever. But like everyone else is dead for being the number 1 overall pick. In Lamb's case, it's like, okay, he's getting double covered at an absurd rate. I saw fantasy points data sharing that he is getting a lot of separation.
There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, like, so I think, and the Cowboys are one of the few teams who are like still throwing the ball down the field. Now, maybe that was like skewed by facing the Ravens and a trailing game script and then getting blown out by the Saints. But like, I personally would still draft Lamb over Jefferson. I don't Like, I don't think the Darnold injury is
That's
serious.
just bag defending by you.
No, I mean, that's just me not being swayed by 3 weeks of data and saying Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Darnold no matter what. Like,
But
you know,
Jefferson is better than Lamb no matter what.
I mean, I think you're splitting hairs there. Like, I personally think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in football. Like, most
CD's
people
best
think it's
season
Jefferson.
CD's best season wasn't even really that close to Jefferson's best season in terms of fantasy points per game.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if we want to like fit the past and just say that's what it will be. I don't know. Like, I would just take the offensive situation of the Cowboys, even still.
Oh,
Like,
see, I think I would take the Vikings have the better line, they have the better coach, they have the better running backs, they have the better second wide receiver, they have the better tight end.
so
So you
the
you just think
the
Dak
Vi-
is
the
that much
Vikings to
better?
me are the team that gets blown out in the wild card round, like
Yes. Yeah, that's
30 to
true.
15. They're
Yeah.
not they're not legit to me. Like, it you kind of be saying, like, you saying all that makes me feel closer, like you think that they're gonna go toe to toe with the healthy Packers in the playoffs, toe to toe with the healthy
No, no, no,
49ers,
but they're
the
gonna
Lions.
win. They're gonna win 10 games, and Jefferson. I mean, Jefferson. I guess the thing is that what they're doing right. I guess they're winning all these games, so Darnold hasn't had to throw 40 times. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening there. But if that happens, I mean, Darnold with Addison in and out and Hawkinson like uncertain health, like he could lead the NFL in every category. He could lead in
Okay, I guess,
catches,
but
yards,
here's the question for
touchdowns.
you: is what would you set the over under and touchdown passes for Dak Prescott going forward versus Sam Darnold? Like, how many more touchdowns would you have Dak for?
I'd probably make Darnold a favorite right now, just given the context of their situation.
That's kind of crazy to me. Like, we're gonna just throw out all the past of Dak being, an elite fantasy quarterback for
Yeah,
stretches,
but
and Sam Darnold not.
Dak has had these meltdown seasons before when the context around him got so bad. The 2022 season, he threw 23 touchdowns in 15 picks in 12
Didn't he get
games.
hurt one of those years too, though? Like,
That was the he got hurt. He didn't end the year playing that
yeah.
year. But yeah, Dak has had these. Actually, he's had multiple. His second year and in
So let's talk about
2022.
that. Do you think Dak is playing terrible, or is
No,
this just all going to? But some people do. Some people do
his
think he's like playing
his
poorly.
second his second wide receivers are Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert.
And
Jake
Ferguson.
and Ferguson is like a real replacement level guy, and they can't run the ball at all, which normally doesn't matter. Normally that's kind of not the deal. But now the defenses are just inviting you to run. The Cowboys, like every defense, is like,
Can they
please.
not run, or did they play the Ravens, who are like the number one pass funnel, and the Saints, where again they got blown out? Like, I still don't think we know a lot about a lot of these teams. Like, what is it going to look like with them against the Giants? What is it going to look like with them against the Commanders? These are games I could see Dowdle or Zeke getting into the end zone, Lamb going off.
Sam
So
Darnold has more rushing touchdowns the last 3 seasons than Dak, which is
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I clearly think that we do need to care about offensive coaches, offensive scheme, like,
and that
and
edge is like super to the Vikings because the only coaches who figured out how to score points are the McShanny coaches now.
yeah, but I also just think it's like, okay, Jefferson scored a 99-yard touchdown. He was amazing against the Texans. He scored a touchdown in that game too. There was a defensive penalty that kept that drive alive, but I don't know, man. Like, I just don't think you're going to score a touchdown every game. And I would take the Cowboys and Dak, more importantly, versus Darnold. But I think Darnold is firmly in the camp of Geno, Baker, like the quarterbacks who were previously dead and have been resurrected. So you feel good. We still haven't seen the Vikings with Jordan Addison. We still haven't seen the Vikings with TJ Hawkinson. So does
You
that
you
make
think you
Jefferson
think
better
that
because there's more
I was gonna
defensive
say, do you
attention?
think that I feel like that makes him I feel like that makes Jefferson much better.
Well, that's I think that's fair to question. I think
But
you could.
that's also, I'm also biased. Like I'm bag defending here too. Like you're
No, I
bag defending and I'm
I know.
bag defending. We are bag defending past each other.
I don't feel like I'm bag defending. Like, I think Jefferson's a great pick, but I just think I'm like wondering what's it going to look like with all these uncertainties. And also, like, as the sample grows on you as an offense, like, teams adjust. So I don't know. So Lamb, I would comfortably say his advance rate's going to go up because inherently he's
Sure.
going
Well,
to
his
outscore.
advance rate is going to go up because Reek is going to go down. I
Yeah,
think Jefferson.
let's
I
just go
think
through the list. Tyreek
St. Brown goes down
down.
probably.
I think with no Laporta for the short term as well. I think he goes up just because everyone else is like missing time. But
They just want to run the ball, man.
maybe he
They
treads.
just want to run. They just want to run that ball.
Chase, I think it goes up, but like, yeah, I agree with some of the commenters. Like, okay, he scored 2 touchdowns against the Commanders. The thing I would say about all Bengals pieces, including T. Higgins, is they are like the only team who is operating how we want to operate, in the sense that they are the pass heaviest team in football. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. Like, that's a hot take, I think, but they have.
You think that how are the what's the path? What is the path?
The path is like they have a bunch of winnable games upcoming, starting with the Panthers. If you like, and they just need to, like, like, people were calling the Bills dead and the Dolphins as like winning the division, and I was like, no, I think Josh Allen's just better and they're going to win all their games, and they did. And I personally think Joe Burrow is going to get it together. Like, okay, the Bengals defense is trash, but you love that for fantasy,
Sure.
and like, okay, the Steelers, like, they're gonna the Ravens. The Ravens could be 1-3. They play Buffalo this week, so it's not like their division is unattainable. I just still think that, like, Burrow and the Bengals, they're gonna get it around. I wouldn't even be surprised at, like, I don't know if you can, but like Jamar Chase contract this week, like, so I don't know. Chase is going up to me. Jefferson, um, I'd accept up or down on this one, just because, like,
Well, 28% is just really high for a first rounder, but he also might just he might have the most raw points of any wide receiver, and that in a year where wide receiver scoring is going to be down is going to be pretty valuable. Because, like, look at these other first round wide receivers. We have AJ Brown with uncertain health, and
yeah.
Hurts
Well,
looks
the
Hurts
Vegeta,
the Vegeta, yeah. Hurts also, to me, like, looks a little bit worse. And I've always been a big Jalen Hurts guy, and he looks a little worse to me. But Kellen Moore, the deal, like, I don't know your opinion. My opinion is the Kellen Moore stuff has been a bigger boon for Devonta than for him. Where
I
Devonta's
don't
getting all
like.
these
We saw
layups out of
one
the
game of
slot.
AJ Brown. He
Sure.
eviscerated the Packers. Like, it's AJ freaking Brown. Yeah, like, on Jefferson, I think he's gonna actually go up, mainly because of the correlation with the Packers pieces, and
Yeah.
those guys are, like, way under expected as far as
And
one
how
scored
about
plus points in the
Darnold
game.
drafters? Darnold is the quarterback 2 right now. He's like 30% owned.
How often was he drafted? Like, 30.
That's a good question.
Pull that up.
I will pull that. I wonder. How
Bijan,
he was
I'm gonna
drafted.
take, like, let's talk about Bijan, man, because I'm gonna take the over. I think he's gonna score touchdowns. He really hasn't ever, like, turned in these consistent top
So not that many times. Not that many
21,000,
times.
56,000. So he's around a 40% drafted player. Um,
Sure.
and I still think these Darnold drafters are running hot, because I think we would have saw McCarthy. Like,
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you're
100%.
potentially running bad as a Jefferson drafter, because what if McCarthy was just legit good?
Nah, I think Jefferson drafters are running very good. I think we've seen with Caleb
You could run
and
better though, you
yes,
know?
I think we've seen with Caleb and Nix, and honestly even Daniels a little bit, that you know the range of outcomes for a rookie quarterback is very, very wide.
Yes, but we'll get to, like, I think some of those guys are trending up. But on Bijan, let's put, like, so Bijan,
Way
okay,
up.
he's
Way up.
he,
He ends up being a 20% guy.
yeah, like, he's getting so many touches. It's like he's not as explosive as we want, to be honest with you. Like, he's not as, like, take a ball and go score an 85-yard touchdown.
He was in week
college?
2. He looked really, really good.
Okay, all right. So we're going up there. Brees, I also think you go up. Like, and this one could go both ways. Like Brees usage elite, Braylon Allen though legit RB2.
Well, Braylon Allen is sure. Braylon Allen is legit, but he's like legit in a way that I actually, this is Galaxy Brain maybe a little bit, but he's actually kind of worse for Rodgers and for Garrett Wilson and for Mike Williams and Lazard, because like the Jets are going to be below average in terms of pace of play, and if 10 plays per game,
near league worst actually in pace of play, right?
Yeah, because that's what Rodgers does. He always brings the clock down to 0. So that's an extra 10 plays a game that is going to the backup running back. And like those are positive plays. Braylon Allen right now is positive EPA per play, which is pretty hard for a running back to do.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I think Brees and Braylon, you're both excited. AJ Brown, I'm going up, but depends when he's back.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson also, like Alan Lazard is not going to score a touchdown every week. I'm going higher on him. Puka lower. And Gibbs, I think higher, man.
Yeah. Bijan in expected points, not as high as you'd think. Below Jonathan Taylor, below Josh Jacobs, below David Montgomery, below Brian Robinson Jr. So that's not great, obviously. Big thing being he's actually been a negative, to your point about not looking that explosive. He's been negative fantasy points over expectation as a rusher, which means it's just really not good, actually. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and I just think as Kirk Cousins gets healthier and defenses need to respect him a little bit more, everything's going to open up. And
Gretsch was making this point. They're negative. They're the dead last of all 32 teams in pass rate over expectation, which you don't pay Kirk Cousins $1 billion to not throw. I think you're right.
Darnell Mooney had tightrope himself, him potentially being a legit third receiving threat and or second if Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. Matters. All right, let's pull up either the quarterback tweet or the tight end tweet and talk about some of that.
Yeah, we could just say every tight end will somehow be a below advance rate guy.
No, I think there's some nuance here. I just pulled what I think most people consider the elite tight ends. And okay, I'm shocked Andrews is at 12%. That's how
little a bad pick matters when you make a good pick. That's how especially in the middle rounds.
What really shocked me is because going Lamar Andrews with CMC was super common. CMC is a 5.5% guy. And so Kincaid is obviously being pulled up just because Josh Allen is smashing. So stacking partners matter here.
Also, yes, just if every tight end is bad, the advance rates are going to be super flat across all.
There's only been 4 touchdowns collectively in this group. So things are going to separate. Laporta, if we were drafting today and Laporta's injury is not serious, what number tight end is he going off the board?
Tight end 5, probably, I think.
Yeah, I still think he's he unquestionably ran hot on touchdowns last year, but
that was where I had him before the season anyways, and it's just JMO is an issue for him. JMO is a pretty big problem for him.
And year 2 Gibbs just being a bigger part of the offense, year 2 Gibbs versus year 2 Laporta kind of makes sense that Gibbs would be a bigger part there. Kelsey, I don't think Kelsey's dead. I don't think he's going to return value for what people thought. I think he's going to have some games where literally the squeaky wheel just gets going and Mahomes is
the only way he ends up being a 16% guy is if they stop throwing the goal line stuff to backup tackles and Andy Reid's literally we got to get this dude 10 tuds. That's the only way. I don't see another path.
I don't know if you even care if your tight end is an advance rate guy. If you can get a 5% owned Kelsey and he scores 2 touchdowns, that wins you real money. So he's alive. He's alive to produce a game. He's dead in the sense that he's going to be a 40% advance rate player.
Yeah, no shot. None.
McBride, hugely alive. It's just no tight end is going to be their team's number 1 target every week. Kincaid, like I think I think Kincaid is clearly the Bills' number one or number two passing target, excluding James Cook. I think James Cook is clearly the guy you would have in Buffalo if you could only have one guy. Like he is the guy who is getting it done on the ground, getting it done in the air. Some even told their friends that he's got a little CMC to his game. Like Cook
Yeah,
is a
you were
smash.
you were definitely right about James Cook. I'm definitely wrong about James Cook. I wish I could trade in every ETN, every Kenneth Walker, all that stuff. I wish.
Well,
I
I
wish.
drafted some Rashad White too, so like no one's perfect. But the thing with Kincaid is the Bills are so good that it's and Shakir is a legit weapon, like a yak guy. Keon Coleman, people were panicking on Keon Coleman. He was late to the game, so that's why he was benched in the first half
I
/
was
quarter,
I was
or late to practice or
I was
something.
punching air because he was the only Bill I believed in. I was like, oh, he just got benched for
CD
MVS.
Lamb's cousin.
Great, yeah.
No, like
I want to address a comment real quick. Kyle Shanahan fucked this up. Kyle
yeah, that was
Shanahan
Shanahan's
said
fault.
after he missed week 1 against the Jets, he said if it was a playoff game, he could have played. So what do you want us to do? You want us to read into things that are explicitly not there? Like it would be insane. It would have been far worse to have gone 0 on CMC because of a preseason calf injury and watch him own your soul. I don't yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. His
Fuck Kyle
upside is
Shanahan.
worth it. I had Lamb as my 101, so I ended up with a soft fade. But so on Kincaid, like some boons for him is he got like one red zone or end zone target all of last year. He's already up to like 3 there. So yeah, he's going to have some multi-touchdown games. The Bills schedule also is like Ravens, Jets, Texans. So like maybe we get some shootouts. If their defense is just shutting teams down, that's not good for anyone in the passing game, you know? But I don't know. I'm expecting things to open up for every team as the season goes. And so, yeah, I think Kincaid's right in the
These are
mix.
the two dudes I'm betting on. McBride and Bowers. I think everyone else is varying degrees of
So
dead or touchdown dependent.
we'll pull that back up and let's talk about Bowers because, okay, I think Kincaid's right in the mix to be tight end 1 because I know the touchdowns will be there in that offense. I think if Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback, that unlocks a ceiling for every Raiders pass catcher where Minshew was like the higher floor guy, but Aiden maybe could legit be like a good passer. So like, are the touchdowns going to be there in half-point PPR for Brock Bowers? I don't know. Probably not. Is he going to have some games where he's just the engine of the offense? Yeah, I expect that. I didn't draft a lot of Andrews. I also don't think he's purely dead. Like, I think he's live in the sense that it's really bad. He ran like 4 routes this past weekend. So did like Chase Brownberry played the week before. Let's get more of a sample there. I think he's still live to be a guy who catches 80 yards and 2 touchdowns later in the season. Pitts, I don't know, man. It seems kind of rough for Pitts. And then Kittle probably has a claim to be tight end 1, in my opinion.
No, he
If he's
doesn't.
healthy. If Kittle was healthy, you wouldn't take Kittle as tight end 1?
No.
I think
I would take Brock Bowers as tight end 1.
I would easily take a healthy Kittle over Bowers. Just 49ers offense, gonna have more passing touchdowns, and
Bowers has 50 more targets than Kittle the rest of the season, 70.
I mean, yeah, he's going to become a full snap rate player eventually, probably, which he's
Yeah.
not.
The reason why no one took Juwan Jennings was that Juwan Jennings has, I believe, 27 receptions and 2 touchdowns in the last 2 years.
Anyone who's looking at the Juwan Jennings blow up after the 49ers didn't have CMC, Kittle, Debo, and they're like, I always knew Jennings was a smash. Why didn't no one yeah, okay. If I knew everyone was going to get hurt on the 49ers, maybe I would have drafted.
I knew everyone was
Juwan
going to get hurt on
Jennings.
the 49ers in DFS last week, and I had absolutely no interest in him. He is not a fit. He is a guy who exists to not score. He's MVS. He's MVS
Yeah.
basically on the 49ers.
What's your stance on Pitts? How dead or not dead is he?
He's not dead because no other tight ends are scoring. but he I mean, Kyle Pitts is basically like, he's Jason Witten. He's
The
just like
thesis of Pitts, I think, is dead.
is
Pitts being
dead,
a
completely
deep,
dead. Yeah.
Pitts being a deep ADOT guy who's going to have some big games is still alive. And like, okay, yeah, elite tight ends are not advancing well right now, but that's partially the point of drafting them because if Pitts, Andrews, Kittle, like whoever scores 2 touchdowns in week 15, you're getting a semifinals team. If they, whoever does it in week 16, you're getting a finals team. If they do in the finals, you're winning best ball mania. So, yeah, okay, like
You're right. It's not even fair to MVS. MVS has more yards and touchdowns than him.
I don't
So
think it's fair to call him MVS either, but
this really does get my goat. And I've been kind of bad about this, Liam, this year. But people being so bad at fantasy is
people being like
really,
revisionist history and being
yes,
like,
of
of
just
course Jennings was going to do this.
yes, you see the result and then you're like, of course that was always going to happen. Why would the thing that I just saw not have been the thing that was going to happen? It normally it doesn't really get me, and I think it's probably because I'm on YouTube every day.
You're
But
doing a lot more content, yeah.
I'm doing a lot more content, and so I'm getting exposed to kind of more of what people think. I
Like,
guess more, and it's
I
driving
had
me. It's driving me nuts.
I had a guy comment on all my videos this week, give it up on Ayuk. And it's like, Ayuk didn't get there this week. He is like one of the top wide receivers in separation. His
He was like,
expected
he
fantasy
was,
points was
dude,
high.
he was one. I don't even like Brandon Ayuk. I think Ayuk was a bad pick, but he literally was one throw away from being like the third highest scoring wide receiver of the week. He had
And
a
he got tackled
60-yard.
at the 1. So it's just like a
Yes.
clear positive regression candidate. Yeah, I don't know. Don't highlight those comments. Let's try to keep the show. Let's
Well,
talk about
I do want people who watch my stuff to be like, oh, I learned something. I'm thinking about this game that we play in like
Yeah,
a
but
slightly
David, some
different
people
way.
hate watch us. You have to accept that. Some
Okay,
people
that's
hate
true.
watch
That's true.
anyone. Let's watch let's do the quarterbacks because I think that's a more interesting discussion. Um
Oh,
airing
you
out
guys,
your
you guys get.
DMs here.
I got nothing. I got nothing to hide in there.
I DOSed my like old address the other week on YouTube. So yeah, the quarterbacks. I think we need to start this off with Mahomes and what do we think his ADP is going to be next year? Because
He's like the quarterback 9 purely out of respect after being the quarterback 15 2 years in a row.
well, I mean, honestly, this is what the fantasy market has done. 2 years ago, I thought it was insane Mahomes was QB1. And why was he QB1? Because he won the fucking Super Bowl. Period.
Well,
That is
no,
why.
he was QB1 because he led the league in touchdowns and was the quarterback 1 in fantasy.
And no, it was because he won the Super Bowl. Because I think anyone, like everyone knows rushing's important, and no one was out there saying Mahomes is going to go run for. He did have a great year that year. Like I won a tournament because of Mahomes, Kelsey,
He
McKinnon
threw
team.
for 5,200 yards and 41 touchdowns.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, dude. Like, are we just going to copy and paste that every year of his career? Like, no. Like,
Well, it's kind of a good question because he's probably the biggest split between cover 2, no cover 2, cover 2. Touchdown
yeah, you could
rate.
say the cover 2 era came on partially, largely because of Mahomes.
Well, him and Allen are the reason.
And Burrow, I think. But I think Mahomes hit like we used to remember games where like Mahomes would be down 20, and we're like, oh no problem. Like he's gonna go throw 3 80-yard touchdowns because
Well, the reason that he's actually bad for fantasy now is that they don't care anymore. The Bills are up 30 points against a loser team that could have had 500 tries to try and score, and they've got Josh Allen throwing bombs to Keon Cole.
Yeah, but they throw it to Ty Johnson, man. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get a Ty Johnson touchdown.
Exactly. Like they're out there they're like, which I wish they would do, but they don't care, man. They're like, all right.
Sure. I don't. Yeah, well, Mahomes used to have Tyreek. That's fair.
Yeah, but not in 2022. He didn't.
But Mahomes is a pocket passing quarterback.
Look at these wide receivers he had when he won MVP. Jerick McKinnon was 3rd on the team in receptions.
Dude, McKinnon was a league winner, but
McKinnon was a league winner, but point being, I'm actually with you. I'm with you. This is clearly the biggest mistake I made this year. Was I thought they would try. They're not trying. They're not going to try. Like the chat, like people are saying this, like, oh, Mahomes said he's.
Here's what I'll
They're not
say
changing.
is you always have out, like, I don't care how expensive a quarterback is. If I think they're capable of putting up 35, I will draft some because whatever, if you get a fluky enough game script against the Steelers, which I personally think is a negative matchup, and that's also why I didn't want Mahomes. You can win Best Ball Mania because of it. But it's kind of silly that Mahomes is grouped in with Allen Hurts, Lamar.
Kyler is going to end up being the quarterback pick, in my opinion.
Well, let's get to the Cardinals. Okay, I think Richardson is gonna get it together or be a major bust. Like, where would you, Richardson? How many years is he a starting quarterback?
It's hard for me to do this because I'm a pro Richardson. Actually, I'm like more pro on him as a real NFL player than a fantasy guy. Like, I actually didn't really like him in
He's
fantasy.
barely played, man. He's barely played.
He started 20 games since he was in. He started 20 games since he was in high school. But yeah, I think he's really young. He's got a coach who I think can. I think his coach can get the best out of him.
And I think he's going to stick with him too.
Yes, he's just missing all the easy shit right now, and I feel like it's got to be. I mean, again, I don't know how much ball I know.
I think it will slow down. I'm going like, how many years minimum actually would you give Richardson?
Like 10. He's not going anywhere.
I'm saying he's at least a starter for 3 years. The NFL moves quick though.
Sure.
Stroud is like Mahomes, except he doesn't have Rashee Rice carrying him up right now. I guess
he should have Nico bringing him up though.
Yeah, but he's more expensive pick than Rice was. And so I think Stroud will go up, but he also was Mahomesian in that expensive statue.
That throw from week 1 for me, that bought him a second contract. If I'm a GM, that throw to Alec Pierce in week 1, that bought him some time. Yeah, my opinion though, this Daniels numbers go down, this Dak number goes down, and the Kyler number goes way up.
Well, let's talk about Kyler because I don't think we know a ton about the Cardinals. I think Kyler's definitely back. Against the Bills, I thought the Cardinals were running like a high school offense. And then they eviscerated the Rams. And then they didn't really get much going against the Lions. So they get the Commanders this week. Another defense I don't know what we can take away from. But I don't know if we know how bad or good the Cardinals are as a team.
Their defense is terrible. They've got a really good run game.
It's better than last year.
I don't know, man. They could not get the Lions off the field in that game. Yeah, this is true. The Kyler teams are gonna have a lot of Puka and Cup, which is bad.
Really bad. Yeah, and Kyron is jury's out. Burrow, I think this goes up, especially because we could see like a nuke Burrow season with them needing to win it. Like, he's gonna try to get it going. I know you hate Burrow.
Except Burrow teams are getting drugged down by T. Higgins.
No, I mean he's healthy now, so that's good. Love definitely going up. I think Love case to be number 1.
Yeah, the jury is not out on Kyron. Why are you saying the jury's out on Kyron? Jury not out on Kyron.
I love Kyron. I always thought it was silly, but he's like not super efficient, and the Rams season could still.
He never was going to be efficient, but the whole question was what is going to be with Corum.
No, but if the Rams are like 1-7,
we can't talk out of both sides of our mouth because we just said it was really bullish for Cup and Puka that they won that game.
Brother, I drafted a lot of Kyron. I would love it, but I'm just giving I don't expect Blake Corum to play 0 snaps the whole year. Like, it is week 3, I'm just trying to add a little, Corum could be a thing by week 11, which would be bad. Prescott, I personally think this holds somewhat. I don't see this dropping off massively, especially if the run game is trash, kind of has to go through Prescott. Daniels, I think this holds. You said this goes down. I think it holds, man.
Well, he's coming off of the best game. Like that might end up being his best game of the season will end up being his best game of the season as a thrower.
We're going to call a rookie quarterback who just played his best game in week 3 as like, that's his ceiling and not he's
as a passer. He'll have better running games.
No, but I think the offense is going like, hopefully Cliff is going to stop doing just this horizontal shit.
Well, he won't.
And he's going to be like, Jaden Daniels. No, Jaden Daniels hit the deep bombs. He's going to do it more. That's my mindset.
Sure. I mean, they can have 4 of them or whatever. I'm not saying that was his best fantasy game. I'm saying that will be one of his best passing games. I love running quarterbacks. I love Jaden Daniels. I'm not trying to short him. Just 25%. 25% for a quarterback in general just seems high. Like
it would be higher if his stacking partners weren't as bad. Like that's the only reason Allen is ahead of him.
Right.
How like straight up Mahomes or Daniels?
Oh, Daniels.
Straight up Jordan Love or Daniels?
Daniels.
Straight up Jaden Daniels or Anthony Richardson?
Richardson. Because Richardson has better wide receivers. That might be. Yeah, it's basically a coin flip. So there's this really interesting thing where like people think of Richardson as a rushing quarterback, but his scramble rate is really low.
Yeah, he's
like,
barely been running.
Yeah, even going back to college, his scramble rate's pretty low. That feels like the easiest fix, right? That feels like the number one easiest fix for that offense is for him to just be like, hey, like Shane Steichen to go to him and be like, hey man, just get out there, design some rollouts. Start rolling out of the pocket,
they won that game. So like they probably view their season alive. Okay, so just blunt to the point. If we were redrafting today, what number quarterback is Jaden Daniels for you?
I was just about to start working my redraft ranks before we started.
Well, yeah, rough draft right now.
Probably is he quarterback QB 5? Yeah.
So below Hurts, Jackson,
Allen, Lamar. Yeah, 4 or 5.
He gets Atlanta week 17. I wouldn't say that's like a bad matchup.
It should just be a good game.
Yeah. I would still maybe knowing that the Ravens are a pass funnel. I'm probably going to take Stroud, considering a week 17 matchup.
Man, the thing about Stroud is I thought that they would really, it's the same thought that I had about Kansas City. I was like, this is going to be the story of the season.
The 5,050 season.
5,050. And they are not interested in doing it. They want to run the ball. They want to control, it's Bobby Slowick who does the Shanahan stuff of being like, we're running on first down. We are not going to play fast. And the Diggs thing, he's just not as good, but he demands the ball. Like it's a little bit of an issue.
He's a chain mover. He's like in my mind.
He is a chain mover, but like Nico and Tank, I think are clearly more efficient than him. But yeah. My thought is pretty clearly the thing that people said about Diggs in the offseason is true, which is that there ain't no fucking way Diggs is going to be comfortable getting less targets than Tank Dell. Just no shot.
And I still don't okay, he just played his old team. He probably got targeted more because of that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, I mean, he had 3 targets, I think, on their first 2 drives. Like, that's definitely true. But it held all the way into the second half. Just every year it happens. This year, Stroud is the Burrow. Yeah.
Well, we did it with 2, Mahomes and Stroud. And I would say no quarterback can go for 5,050 anymore unless you are not good enough for the opposing defense to respect you. Like Sam Darnold is the perfect Geno Smith. These are the perfect blends of guys who are good enough to execute an offense, but not good enough for defenses to be like, we're just going to sit cover 2 and take away your deep ball and make you dink and dunk against us.
Well, and what's the core? Both those teams have great rushers. Aaron Jones and Charbonnet and Walker and Chandler, they're all running.
And the quarterback just is not CJ Stroud. It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not the number one guy you game plan for when you play the opposing team. You're not like,
Yeah,
how do I
the
get Tim
Carson
Darnold
Steele
out?
thing, it's actually terrible for Mahomes because they're like,
It's probably
this guy
bad, yeah.
could not have a 17-yard run against us if we gave him like literally a 0-man box. Like Carson Steele's going to be pretty good at getting 4.5 yards. He's definitely not getting 20 yards like ever. It feels like.
Yeah, and the catches he gets is like rumbling for 7.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, what's your takeaway from week 3? Like, gotta be positive, right?
I gotta be. It feels like that now. The new take du jour is, oh, dude, Jane Daniels is better than Caleb. They should have taken Jane Daniels 1. I mean, my faith in Caleb Williams has not been shaken for a moment. I think Rome with Keenan coming back is like it was. I was very happy to have gotten those results last week, but I mean, they ran 90 plays last week. I don't think we're
Do you
getting.
want to buy out of our Rome versus Worthy bet?
No, I'm saying I actually, so weirdly
I have Rome there. You have Worthy.
Yeah, my whole portfolio is dead, but actually, weirdly, Worthy for best ball is going to be fine.
No, I agree. I agree.
In managed, he's totally dead. Like you could probably like literally drop him in managed.
It's
but
week 3, man. It's week 3. Like, let's breathe a little bit.
But Worthy is getting you 10 touchdowns in best ball. It's gonna be fine there.
Yeah, I would say like probably like 6 would be the line, but I agree. Like
Sure.
8 to 10 is in the cards.
My concern for Rome is Keenan's coming back this week. Komet looks like a bigger part of the offense now. Like just Komet being out there instead of Everett means there's another legitimate guy to earn targets. Now, another thing that could actually kind of be bullish though for this team is what if they just stop playing DeAndre Swift, who's been the worst rusher in the NFL?
Is that good or bad for the passing game?
Very good. Very good. It is very bad to be in 2nd and 9 every second down.
So, yeah, but like the Bears passed it like 52 times or something against the Colts, partially because of Swift is my point there. I think Rome, Rome, like DJ Moore's in this like weird screen role where they're not really using him as like a real wide receiver all that much. Rome, I think, will be fine no matter what, because if it's not Cole Kmet getting underneath work, it will be Keenan. And I think the other good thing is Caleb is both job secure wise, confident enough, and good enough that he, like, did you see when he like they threw some like whack route out there and he went to the sideline and he went to Shade Waldron and he's like, what the F are we calling? So I think Caleb might be able to influence the offense to get like better routes. I'm not going to be surprised if Rome is the number 1 wide receiver on the Bears. But yeah, I don't know what will happen when Keenan comes back. If Keenan comes back, what's going on with Keenan at all, to be honest. But yeah, huge. Like I drafted a lot of Caleb. I drafted a lot of Rome. I got into DJ Moore at the end there. I was worried week 1 and 2. I didn't think it would be like this rough, but I was
never worried about Moore because Moore just kind of always gets his,
He's a spike week guy too, like he's just
good. He's just good at the game. He's just good at the game. But yeah, DeAndre Swift dead last in the entire NFL in rushing fantasy points under expected and amongst running backs also. Do you know how hard it is to have negative receiving
Dude, he's like
points?
dropping screens that are perfectly blocked. It's bad for Swift.
He's terrible. He is a really terrible player.
And Roshan, like I like, you couldn't read anything about this, but Roshan hurt his foot in training camp. That has to be why we didn't see him. And I think he's the guy you maybe want to own over even Herbert. Because
Herbert he's like short yardage only.
Roshan is like the Zach Moss, David Montgomery on the Bears, where he's gonna like catch balls, he's gonna pass protect, he's gonna do what you want. So feel good for the Roshan bags and Caleb.
Yeah. So Pete and I looked at the number 1 team in BBM last week, and I was like, I wouldn't buy that team for $100. So let's do this and see if I would buy this team for $100. This is the highest scoring team.
1 QB team.
1 QB team.
Jahan
Cook,
Dotson.
Kamara, Montgomery, Dobbins, Elijah Mitchell, Justice Hill. So he's got
the Justice Hill pick's pretty sweet.
Yeah. 18th round.
Maybe not for the long term, but
Reek, Neighbors, Metcalf, McLaurin, Dotson,
no, this
Burton,
team's got a
Jawan
lot of
Jennings.
zeros. It's
Yeah, I
got
would
Dotson,
not buy this team for $100.
it's got Dotson, it's got Burton, it's got Mitchell. It has like find the top team without Juwan Jennings. It would probably be a team you would actually want, because any team inserting Juwan Jennings score in right now is obviously just, getting boosted by a random 50-point week. Jennings will probably be a solid guy in the short term, like give you another couple weeks, but
Debo, I mean, Debo is such a dog, man. He could be
and
back
Ricky
before you
Pearsall
know
is
it.
going to return, man. Like that's the other thing about Juwan Jennings is Ricky Pearsall didn't get shot before for the majority of the offseason, Okay,
Highest scoring non-Jennings team: Daniels, Cousins, Mayfield, all live. Barkley, Kamara, Javonte, Bucky Irving, Braylon Allen.
sick. Except
Javonte's
for
only kind of
Javonte.
alive, yeah. Chase, Evans, McLaurin with Daniels, Godwin with Baker, Rashi,
Sick.
Jacoby Myers, Mooney, Calvin Austin, Brock Bowers, Dallas Goedert. I'd buy this team for $100.
Yeah, I would buy this team just to get a Saquon Kamara combo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I would. This is the first time I've looked at one of the highest scoring teams and been like, yeah, I would buy that team.
Yeah, and it's got so Calvin Austin is he's gonna be on the field. Who knows what happens when Roman Wilson comes back?
He's probably
Uh,
1% drafted or something.
Yeah, he's like a decent late round dart. Like I have Trey Tucker, Calvin Austin's a
Sure.
similar thing. Pretty good team there. Let's look at our top teams, Davis.
God, do we have to?
Yeah, I mean, I think people watch us. Like we're not gonna smack it every year.
I guarantee you my highest scoring team is just like all ass. It's like a team I hate. 427
No,
points.
that's always the case, kind of.
Yeah, a Will Levis, Derek Carr team. So that's the only reason it's any good is that it's
So
got
all 5 running backs are alive. All 3 quarterbacks are alive. And Carr is like
Walker's only kind of alive. He's
I
only
think
kind
he's
of
gonna
alive.
return like this week. Like
No,
next week.
but his role is going to be worse now. Charbonnet has played so good in these games that he's earned, I think
I don't know if
bunch
you
of
even
snaps.
care, because the whole thesis of Walker is go score a 75-yard touchdown, and he's going to have opportunity. And the fact that the Seahawks are one of the few teams still passing the rock a lot, and he's going to get involved in that.
Why is Brandon Cooks on this team? I bet anything I drafted this with Herzig. I
This
bet
team's
anything.
pretty sick, man. Jefferson, Moore, Higgins, Rice, Shaheed, and then Cooks. Oh, this was your top scoring team last week too. This was the Herzig team you told me.
This is a Herzig team.
That's a pretty good team.
Can I find a good one? Can I find one? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bit team. This team is ass.
I think we get Drake May in 2 weeks.
Can I find one good team? Rondell Moore, no. Can I find one good team?
Elijah Mitchell. Zach Moss, dude. Humility. Good job.
Jaden Daniels with
Aaron Jones is smashed too.
And Hurts. Kirk Cousins with Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Shakir. This is a good team. Not every piece is. I think that's a good team.
All right, this team is.
Yeah, I got anyone who's below average advance rate. Just find a team or two to like, or straight up don't look at your advance rates for a couple weeks, but things will normalize.
Okay, this team's
good.
Corley is a 0, but other than that, this team is alive.
He's not a 0 forever. That was keep on that team though. That's a good team.
Where'd all of my best teams are Zach Moss teams.
This
is a good team.
Achane, Cook, smash. Rico, fine. Ray Davis, fine, still contingent. Gibson, fine. Chase Olave, Reed, smash. Watson, smash. Coleman, nice. Mooney, really nice. Yoshi Boss, nice. Trey Tucker, really nice. Corley, leave a light on. Okay, Musgrave, it's a 1 tight end team is the only thing, but also 2 good.
Musgrave is a contingent value. He's a handcuffed tight end now.
Yeah, you love that. All right.
This is a good question. Would I have bought Fareed's team? I don't think so.
Of course you would not have. No, you would have looked at him and it's unstacked, it's trash, it's whatever. So I think you were at 25 teams last week, Davis. So just shows you how things can swing here.
I want some uglies.
You do,
No,
right?
I was doing stuff like that on purpose this year.
That's not a mistake.
I was doing stuff like that on
It's
purpose.
a mistake that Ty Johnson is this involved, but who knows if that holds. I was
All
at
right.
like 12, so I gained like a team. I
Hurts
like
and
my top
Brown,
team.
Purdy
Purdy to Mason. Purdy was a really
to
late pick
Mason.
here, is the only
Yeah.
reason I took him. Uh,
Cook,
but like
Kamara, Pollard, Mason, Irving, Pirine.
cromulent.
No, that's
Good.
a really good running back room. Brown, yeah, this is a smash. I'd buy this team.
Let's talk about the Chiefs running backs in a second. Like,
Sure.
Hunt is active, or he's on the roster now.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of a
think
surprise.
I wrote this in my waiver thing this week. It's like
I didn't write him
sure.
up to add or anything.
Well, the only reason why I put him in was like I keep getting people in my mentions who were like, dude, this is Kareem Hunt's backfield. And I'm like, I should at least,
I don't think
for
that.
people who are paying me for fantasy advice, I should at least put this out there that it's a thing people believe. I don't believe it, but sure.
The yeah, I think Steele is still the guy you want, but maybe it's Pirine because he's like pretty involved in the passing game. Steele's not a 0 in the passing game. He ran more routes. So
He
that's
ran more
nice.
routes, yeah.
The like all those backs, by the way, are like 230 pounds. So the Chiefs are clearly like, okay, you're gonna play cover 2 against us. Here's like 3 bowling balls. Good, have fun tackling them all game. The issue is Hunt is a good short line back. So like, is he gonna take that from Steele? I don't know. Steele was good in success rate, so I think he would hold on to it. I don't know. Like this team.
No,
Not all my team.
Steele is gonna be pretty strong. Yeah. Kareem Hunt is except I actually think Kareem Hunt is in the Dalvin Cook role.
He scored 8 touchdowns though,
or not Dalvin Cook. He's in the Melvin Gordon role. People forget Melvin Gordon was on the Kansas City Chiefs last year.
No Tout is crushing advance rate right now just because no one was really into Saquon.
Name your favorite Tout. They're all getting beat up because running backs are the only team scoring points.
Can you just like delete my name and just put in Saquon and Kamara to help explain what's skewing this right now? So no, don't combo them. Just do them individual.
Oh,
But that combo is a 90% advance rate, though.
So yeah, there you go. If you don't have a lot of these guys, there are 4,715 teams with both of these players, and 89% of them are advancing right now. If you have Saquon Barkley and no other information, you have a 46% chance to be advancing.
Second, third round pick, by the way. And then Alvin Kamara, I want to talk about because he scored well this week. He scored like 15 PPR, 12 half point. He was a 63% advance rate guy last week.
Yeah.
He scored well and he lost 10% advance rate. So these Kamara teams, like, what do you think the advance rate will close on Kamara?
Wait, say that again.
Mostert was roughly a 40% advance rate guy last year. I think we could look that up even. But what do you think the advance rate closes on Kamara?
See, I still think the same reason I wasn't really drafting him applies, which is like he's 29. His efficiency is all quick, his efficiency from week 1 and week 2 is already cratering.
As are the Saints. The Saints
are the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like? I think 30%, I think, would be a safe number to predict for Kamara to close at because he was cheaper. Barkley, he closes around like 23%. I don't know. Like a second round pick is just rarely gonna be advancing so high. The 42 teams.
Let's see if we buy this for $100. Dak Prescott and CeeDee, Aaron Rodgers and Mike Williams, Barkley, ETN, Kamara, McLaughlin, Akers. Oh, must have been a late team. CeeDee, Evans, Hollywood, Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Mike Williams, John Dotson, Jordan Whittington, Juwan Jennings, Mark. I would not buy this team for $100.
It's got Mark Andrews, of course not. Like.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's apply these two and then apply Mark Andrews.
Didn't find the
Still,
couple.
still a 90% advance rate.
The yeah, like I think I have actually 6% Kamara just because he was like cheap, and I was like, okay, pass catcher, sure, whatever. But I only have 3% Barkley, so not getting there if Barkley continues to score infinite touchdowns each game. We're not going to do a segment pulling up Gritty's teams. He if you want Gritty updates, just follow him on Twitter. He will post it almost daily.
He'll post the play by
He
play.
will victory lap a Quentin Johnson 3 for 30. He's like tagging Davis in like old tweets I posted. It's just funny.
Hey man, I gotta wear it. I'm a very cocky guy. I'm very proud of myself. So yeah, 12%.
Same.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think like Kendre Miller, like guys, remember this. Rashad Penny contributed 0 points the year I won BBM2 to me advancing. Nearly 0. Like it was like 20. Rashad Penny is why I won BBM.
Rashad Penny is a 13% advance rate player.
He's out advancing both of us. Rashad Penny by himself is out advancing Davis and I.
Yeah. All right. Let's see my worst team. Let's see my worst team.
Oh, let's pull both our worst. Yeah.
All right. My worst team is
239.
almost dead last. I mean, 668,000 is almost dead last.
Pull that bad boy up.
Jordan Love, Matt Stafford, McCaffrey.
It's gotta be CMC team.
So McCaffrey 0, Mostert 0, Chase Brown 0, Rico Dowdle 0, Braylon Allen not 0, DJ Moore
0, man.
Cup 0, Brown 0, Watson's been a 0, Wicks has been a 0, Bourne is a 0, Rice is a 0, Kittle's been a 0. So basically an entire roster of zeros. I mean, that's 80% zeros right there.
You had that Kittle week. Pull up my worst team. So what's your score? 239?
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Why are you looking up your Tony teams?
I got a Tony team. I have a Tony team that could advance, brother. Look at that.
Oh,
look at that.
Someone's asking.
And I fucked up and I did double quarterback buys.
Did anyone even put him on the practice squad?
He's a Cleveland Brown, I believe.
Oh wow, they love that type. They're like Elijah Moore, Tony.
Maybe he's a Seahawk. He is on a practice squad. Kadarius Toney. No, he is a Brown. He is a Brown, and this is the headline. Browns Kadarius Toney experiment off to a disastrous start.
Got some water in the lungs there. Rough. What's my lowest?
Hey, this team could advance, bro. This team could advance.
It's got Quentin Johnston, dude. Wide receiver like 11 in the league.
It's got Gus Edwards. Great. All right. Liam's worst team. Let's find Liam's worst team. Your worst team is better than my worst team.
By 20 points.
Allen.
An Allen team being my worst team is shocking. Like I build a lot of extreme teams like this. So Zamir, Mostert. Zamir is like a plain 0. Mostert injured. Chase Brown, a plain 0. Corum up just like inactive. Ray Davis.
Yeah.
Evan Hull. Puka hurt.
This must have been an early one.
It was early. I mean, Puka and Cup would have been sick. Marvin, Terry, Keon, Zay Jones, an active 0. Demarcus Robinson.
I'm embarrassed to be doing this show with you right now.
Dude, it was a Puka Cup, Demarcus Robinson, Stafford team. Pretty sick. Ferguson, Schultz. Yeah, the team's
Ferguson and Schultz is the ultimate Spider-Man pointing meme.
But this is an example of building a team to try to win the contest and not advance. Like, am I drafting Zamir White and Mostert as my first running backs if I'm trying to advance? No, right? Like that's like 0 running back inherently, which I built a lot of. You're accepting that you're trying to advance a more unique team to win.
7% advance rate.
They weren't even paired that often because their ADPs got in different pockets.
Stafford, Nix, Mayfield, Barkley, Cook, Kamara, Tajay Spears, J.K. Dobbins, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Rashee Rice, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, the Bo Nix double stack. Ferguson, Goddard, likely.
I have some teams with like Tua, Bo Nix, and Drake May, where Bo Nix is just holding down the fort.
I bet Bo Nix is close to a good advance rate.
Yeah, it
Okay,
depends
not
if
quite.
people paired him with Javante or not. I would have thought positive because he's like Russian. How many Andy Dalton teams are there?
3, and
3.
none of them are advancing.
The Wald Man did it twice.
The Wald man, he knows ball.
Pull up the Wald Man's. Like I like to look at the portfolios of the guys who draft these obscure players.
How do you do the portfolio?
That like this. You just you have to go to the user exposure tab. Yeah, exposures, and then type in Waldman. What you doing, Waldman?
A lot of
So
Gus Edwards,
the
a lot of
Andy Dalton
Wandale.
drafter loves Gus Edwards, loves Hayden Hurst. He's got some hits there though. James Cook, Pacheco would have been a hit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you have your Jacquard?
I don't look at that. No, I don't know what it is. I
I've
mean,
got it.
I know the concept of it, but I don't know what mine is.
Do you want to look at it?
Sure, pull it up. If you have the ability to look at it, I'd look at it.
I do. I do.
Pull it up and compare ours. This is
Well, I
courtesy
I
of
don't,
our friends.
courtesy of our friends at Legendary Ups. I got to figure out how to share it.
Mike Williams, man, like I think you should feel pretty good as a Mike Williams drafter that he's like seen the field even and he's trending up. And we can assume he'll like overtake Lazard still.
I gotta try. I'm seeing if I can share this window. I can. Okay, this is my Jacquard. These fucking
Can you get these
overlays,
little
dude.
boxes out of the way? Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay,
That
so
is
what do
my
we
Jacquard.
explain this to the novices and myself, what we're looking at here?
So I'm probably not the best person to explain it because there's a lot of math
Put
going
that
on
in
here.
sacrilegious real quick.
Yeah, sacrilegious. Where you at? So basically, sacrilegious uploads all the results and then compares what you did to other drafters. It's hard
If
to
you
do
max
without
the contest.
if you max the contest. So the closer that your Jacquard tree is to the middle, that means that effectively you did the same thing all the time, that your similarity is high.
You're
So
hitting with
picks,
the gritty. You're duping
yes.
yourself a lot.
So picks 1 through 6, you guys can see where it says picks 1 through 6 at the left quadrant. My similarity is very low because I just took Justin Jefferson all the time. I took Justin Jefferson instead of Chase. I took him sometimes instead of Tyreek Hill. Picks 7 through 12, I did. I had a more varied range, and then picks 13.
Tight end, you diversified a lot. Running back, not as much. Probably Chase Brown and Rico pulling you there.
Exactly. Yes. Farther from the center is more diverse. So the closer that you did, basically, it's comparing my drafts to other drafters and to myself. So effectively, my rounds 1 through 6, I take Justin Jefferson, I take Cooper Kupp, I take DJ Moore, I take Xavier Worthy, I take Patrick Mahomes, I take Travis Kelce. I just did that over and over again. Then round 7 through 12, I did a lot of different things. I started to differ. Well, relative to myself, not relative to the field, because I'm still below 50th percentile. The only areas where I got above 50th percentile was at tight end, because tight end is a shitty position.
And in my opinion, like if you're a sharp drafter, what do you want this to look like? I think you want to be pretty varied at tight end and running back because these are inherently touchdown dependent positions and not as skill based. Wide receiver, in theory, you'd want to be a little bit more narrow, less diverse, because you want to say, these are the talented guys. These are the guys in high value offenses. These are like, I want Roma Dunze. Like that's the right pick. Quarterback, I also think you kind of want varied just because like any quarterback can be QB1 week 17. And then, yeah, like, okay, picks 1 through 6 being less varied is a high risk appetite. Your risk of ruin is high if Jefferson rolls an ankle. If Jefferson is the wide receiver 1 or the number 1 scoring player week 17, your equity to win the contest is also really high. So it goes both ways.
Now, mine did not. I did some self scouting, So
last year? Yeah, you
no.
like you saw Brick hit you with the like.
No. I did self-scouting. Mine was way worse than this. I was like 20th percentile, 19th percentile. And then I basically tried to get a little bit more diverse so I wouldn't end up in week 3 having no teams advancing in the contest. So it didn't work out particularly well. But I've got yours pulled up here.
Yeah, pull it up so that we can toggle between it. Just
I've
never seen this, so I'm interested what mine looks like.
I'm really bad at this. Here we go. Here's yours.
I don't understand. Ooh.
So
well, I'm a very
are
undiverse.
super non-diverse. You did the same. It looks like round 7 through 12. That's the round where the Bills players are going. So
well, wait, is pick 7 through 12? I thought picks 1 through 6 was literally like pick 1, pick 2, pick 3. You're saying it's rounds 1 through 6.
Yes, yeah, like your first, second, third, fourth round.
Oh, pick. Okay. I misunderstood that.
Yeah. So you're 27th percentile. You pretty much. This is pretty interesting because your diversity of actual player exposures is more varied than mine. You don't have guys as owned as I do, but you basically
I have a lot of players like 16% plus.
You layered the same players in with each other all the time. So the way Sacrilegious explained this to me was basically, no, I'm not sure. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up on legendaryupside.com.
I thought it was confusing. I was like, why do we care about picks 1 through 6, picks 7 through 12, rounds 7 through 12? It makes a lot more sense because there's 18 rounds and it goes picks rounds. He should change the word picks to rounds. But it doesn't, like, I understand it now. So yeah, like, I mean, if I pull up my exposures here, like, and there's so many ways to do this, guys. Is like, if you are someone that feels like you don't know football at all, okay, you probably want to be pretty diversified, right? You're just kind of trying to like get the nuts. The other way to do it is you could say, hey, I think a couple guys are really mispriced in a round, or I think this guy's a league winner. And so I'm going to build different teams, but keep on layering in these same guys. Chris Diaz is saying it's your 1st through 6th pick, not round. I don't know. Like, I have 16% guys. I have I have no one above 30% owned, 31%. Kincaid, I have at 30%. If we just look at tight ends, Ferguson at 23%, Trey McBride at 15%, George Kittle at 15%. I smashed tight end. Brock Bowers at 14%, Dallas Goedert at 11%, Tyler Conklin at 10%, Isaiah Likely at 9%, Ben Sinnott at 9%, Evan Ingram at 8%, Dalton Schultz at 8%, Kyle Pitts at 7%. So I guess I just took the same tight ends late as well, is why
basically
going like this.
Again, the way Sacrilegious explained it to me is that you are basically doing the same team construction with different players, but the players are the same depending on the team. So it's like in this draft, you took Dalton Schultz and Tucker Kraft. And then in this draft, you took Dalton Kincaid and Luke Musgrave. But you have like 16% of those players. So your overall the way you spread your teams is less varied, is the way I understand it.
Yeah, so I'm taking different players rounds 1 through 6 ish, like 20% compared to other 150 maxers. I'm taking a lot of different players rounds 13 through 18. I'm hitting the same guys rounds 7 through 12.
Well, still less than 40th percentile.
Yeah, and that's like, some people are 150 maxing and that is their only best ball action. Personally, I'm firing some high stakes. So like in something closer to a lottery, which BBM5 is, I'm trying to like say, hey, I know who's the best players. These are the guys. And I don't care if I return $0 in my BBM5 teams.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You just closer to the middle here, and I will do what the chat wants, and I will give you a 0th percentile radar
Hit him
chart.
with the gritty.
I will do. I don't like to give him a ton of attention, although I think it is very funny. I will hit you all.
He is the second least diversified drafter. That much I do know.
He is the second least diversified drafter.
Imagine how upset he is that he wasn't number 1 least diversified. Oh my god, this is what the graph looks like. The spider chart.
You can't even see it. You can't even
pull up like Neil's, because Neil's a guy who claims he diversifies on purpose. His is like player.
I don't know his name.
Does anyone know Neil's thing? It's like player Q DFS or something like that.
It's player Q, but I think maybe it has an underscore. Is it just player Q? Or I can look.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna be able to find it in a second here, because he retweeted the top weekly scores, and he claims he diversifies a lot. So we should just player Q. It is
player Q. We could pull up Peters too.
But I don't know if he 150'd. Player Q, Star Kindler says.
Yes. Yeah. And he did. He did.
But see, I think he streamed all his drafts. Shout out Neil.
So his radar looks insane compared to ours.
This is like I'm spreading it. And like I don't like personally, it's so hard to get a team to the finals. Do you want to show up to the team at the finals with like a guy you don't believe in? On average, you will get a team to the Best Ball Mania finals once in every 10 years if you're just an average person 150 maxing.
Dude, that's
crazy.
Years. That's crazy, dude.
And so
he is over 80th percentile diversified at every spot in every round.
The Neil versus Gritty allegory is insane.
Yeah.
So like this is super diversified, and Neil is proud of this. Like this is what he thinks is good to do. Neil's a sharp guy as well. I personally I don't want to show up to the finals with like my singular share of
Pete's is really no different.
Well, maybe this is a takeaway. I haven't talked with Pete, but maybe Pete feels like he went too narrow in the past and he's been burned by it. Like that's a reasonable way to do it, but I think all this is just you have to.
No, I call cap on this because I streamed half my drafts and mine does not look like that.
Yeah, Neil, I stream a lot too. Not as much as Pete as far as like my BBMs, but yeah, I think it's just Pete has more humility in his drafting process than Davis or I. Like I think
no one is going to accuse me of being humble, and boy am I fucking eating it as a result.
Well, maybe this year, but like Davis, how elated would you be if if Chase Brown, you'd be like, doing lip flips right now if Chase Brown was
true, man. It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
who else do you guys want me to check?
Pull up Karain. Because we know that he like loved Drake May.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Karain's isn't interesting because he's like checking his stuff with this tool.
We're going to assume that his picks 13 through 18 is not diverse because he kept on doing Drake May.
His is gnarlier than mine.
Yeah, I think player takes are important. But it, so this is like closer to my, like, it's like my graph, but even more extreme, I think. Right?
Yeah. You were 27th percentile. He's 16%.
Yeah. And he like, I was a lot varied in picks 13 through 18. And I think that's the right way to do it. Like, unless I have conviction on a guy, I want shots to land Jordan Mason, Carson Steele,
So
Samaje
this is also true. This is also true.
I
These are
agree with
like
Neil. Yeah,
these are pretty micro. The difference between 30% and 70% is not as large as this graph makes it seem.
yeah,
That
like
is
the
true.
rings get so huge for like 60%. It's pretty absurd. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, guys. Like I think this is cool to look at. I don't think it's like for some people it might be groundbreaking. I think people can make the mistake in best ball where let's say you have a bad year and you want to improve and you look at your Jacquard tree and then you're like, huh, okay, I'm going to do the exact opposite. That's like the same thing. Like you look at your Jacquard tree and let's say you were super diverse picks 13 through 18. Your takeaway is, okay, this year I'm just going to be super undiverse. It's kind of the same thing that like, and I myself have done this where you're just swinging each year playing against your biases where like, for example, I drafted a lot of Jameson Williams last year. I didn't draft as much this year. I was probably a little biased. And I didn't believe as like the breakout or someone who drafted Zach Charbonnet last year is like, I'm not doing it again. He wasn't the guy. Like you're just swinging year to year with bias. So I don't know what are your hard takeaways from looking at a Jacquard tree of how you can get better, Davis?
The idea is not to diversify your picks, it's to diversify your teams. So the idea is that instead of every time you do a Mahomes stack, you back stack it with Knicks and Dulcich. Sometimes you do the Mahomes stack and you back stack it with Baker Mayfield and Cade Otton, Carr and Shaheed. Every time you do 3 late quarterbacks, instead of you do Knicks, May, Carr. Sometimes you do Geno, Rodgers, Knicks. The idea is that you want to have concentrated exposures, but not concentrated teams.
Yes, and like hit him with the gritty is building the same team. That is bad because your risk of ruin is super high. But also, he's okay returning $0. So I don't think it's like that bad if your bankroll's big. I myself am trying to like, yeah, I do think I've identified some players I want for whatever reason, and I want those guys. Or like I'm not afraid of Derrick Henry burying me, so I'm not going to diversify there. We're also being compared to other 150 maxers. So when you have guys like Neil who diversify everything, I wonder what that does to impact percentiles.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, I am like, I'm
Yes.
gonna lose all my money in BBM, and like that's fine.
Yes, everyone is going to
I'll
lose, so take some
yeah,
stands. That's always been
I'll
my
play
mindset.
again. I'll play again next year. Like
M
it is
my
it is it is what it is.
My Jacquard tree was terrible the year I won BBM too, because I had 60% Gabe Davis. I had I could pull up my exposures, but I had 60% of like a round 10 player. That is not as risky though as having like last year I think I had 50% Kincaid. That was more risky because Kincaid was more expensive and it came at around where all the running backs you want went, which like I knew going into the year I was being risky. So I don't know, cool to look at. Should we jump into a resurrection draft, Davis, or anything else you want to look at best ball wise?
I'm not doing a resurrection draft.
You
I
don't want
don't.
to do that?
Because I can't even play it good, Liam. I can't even.
No,
I
but I
can't
think
even.
the point is that it allows us to talk about the players for the upcoming season. It's just to really like
Do
spur
we want to talk
conversation.
about the Twitter drama happening right now? We could do that
What is
instead.
that?
This could be daytime television.
Sure. What is it? Let's do it. The Liam and
Apparently,
Davis show could go many ways, guys. We're
oh yeah,
open.
here
If you're
let's do this, and I can fill you in
if
on the
you're
drama.
listening, ESPN, we are open to being a first takey show for best ball / fantasy football.
Yeah. Also, that's true. 60% of one player doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah.
It would mean your pick 13 through 18 is not diverse.
Yeah. I'm personally am dealing with my dead best ball bags by drafting battle royales, but everyone can cope how they want to.
I just thought it would be a good way for us to talk about the value of players.
No, you are correct. You are correct. And we can still do one.
What is the Twitter drama going on?
I gotta fix my share screen.
I generally stay locked in and present with you when I'm on a show, but you're over here multitasking.
Well, I had to go into Discord to
I'm just
figure
kidding
out.
with you.
Oh well, I am bad at that, but I had to go into Discord to figure out the Jacquard thing, and I got my answer, and then I saw someone mention this Twitter drama, which is that Sam
Oh, is it
Sherman and
Bindford and Sam?
it's Bindford and Sam. They've been arguing with each other all day.
Bindford always is looking for fights on Twitter. In
My
mind.
dude Eric loves to mix it up. He's
always like tweeting things and then fighting. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, I got a 10% boost to use, and I got to use it within the next.
And I like Sam. Like Sam will stick up for himself.
Sam.
Like,
yeah,
I like that Sam will mix it up, and he's not afraid to throw it back. This Josh Jenkins guy is a clown.
Josh Jenkins does suck.
I have this dude muted as well.
Yeah. Okay, Liam. I have a boost. I have a $25 10% boost that I've got to use in the next 50 minutes. So yes, I will have resurrection rankings up this afternoon.
I'm gonna have mine up later this week or next week. I got a hurricane rolling through, so I don't know what that's gonna do. If you're
they are beefing about Eric All.
I'm sorry, but like the people who try, like I think Sam tweeted to sum this up about Eric All, and then this loser was like, "You didn't draft any in BBM," and it's like, dude, whatever. Like he drafted it in DK. Go check that exposure, man. Like I don't know, but
all right, Liam, we got a fire.
Okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown, obviously.
Marvin Harrison, he might not be because McBride's questionable.
Oh, they're being cowards. Okay.
There's not a ton.
Aaron Jones revenge game touchdown, obviously.
All right, great. Love it. That should be up. Bang. All right, there we go.
Oh, and we get a imagine not betting the revenge game.
Jaden Reed, touchdown or yards?
Are we getting Love? If no Love, I don't like it.
I'm playing like Love is in. Okay,
well then touchdown. Hell yeah. Give me Rome Odunze over receiving yards.
Doesn't have it. Touchdown only, which I don't love.
Touchdown. I'm not doing
that. I'm not doing
Davis,
that.
he had 200 air yards last week.
That is unfairly priced. 1.19x is unfairly priced.
Get nearly 2x?
It's him or
DJ Moore.
He does not score a touchdown once every 2 games. That is not a fair
with
price.
No Keenan, and it's him or DJ Moore scoring.
Keenan is at practice today.
Is he? Okay. Rome touchdown.
You guys can do a Rome touchdown. I'm not doing it. I will do DeAndre Swift lower rushing yards.
Oh, that's sharp because he could be benched.
Yeah. Okay.
2-2 Atwell over. 2-2 Atwell over.
2-2 Atwell higher
receiving.
I think longest reception is the way to do it. What do you think?
Because he only needs one.
Because he only needs one.
Yeah. Bears defense so legit, but don't care. Longest reception higher.
Okay. The chat wants Neighbors Tud 1.2x. That feels fair.
Against Dallas, I'd rather take Target.
His lines are insane. His lines are legitimately insane. Like
he's a first round pick if we're doing drafts again, right? Like
yeah.
I think targets is what you go for him over. Or
I'm not doing higher on 10.5.
Or you just do under on fantasy points. Like this is what I did the week that Cup was like the first overall pick. I just took under on 17.7 half point PPR points.
I'm avoiding that. I don't like it. Here's the thing. I don't want
Rico Dowdle over.
No, here's the deal. I don't want to have that go to 0 on Thursday and have to sit and look at that red dot all week.
All right, let's get a Bills Ravens piece in there. Maybe like Shakir over.
Shakir.
I don't like that's a really high line. I don't like that. No, I don't want to do Keon. I don't know.
Keon Tudd?
What's Kincaid at? Or what's Cook at? What's Cook at?
36 yards for Kincaid?
Yeah, and he's like running down the field too. But what is James
Yeah.
Cook at? I'm just curious what it is.
It'll be even money touchdown. Oh no, bang.
You want to do touchdown or
Yes.
receiving yards on him?
Touchdown.
Because the nice thing about Cook is like they run all these clear outs and then he just goes out for a spill out route and gets like 10 yards every time.
Chase
Um,
Brown did look good, but it doesn't matter.
he look
Doesn't matter.
that's what I was saying. Like he will never be in there for pass protecting, but
Dude,
he
no, okay. People are gonna say I'm coping. He had an insanely good blitz pickup. Like
he
the
got
first time I've
one
ever
he got one pass protecting route
and he
and he got bullied on it.
he's no wrong. Wrong.
I saw a video of that. Maybe that person lied and maybe there
No,
was two.
he stonewalled. He stonewalled.
Okay.
Burrow completed the pass.
Do what's Bucky Irving at? Oh my god. We could do Trey White interceptions. That's absurd.
I'm
Shit.
taking I know this is an insane multiplier, but I'm taking lower on Rashad White touchdown.
Well, that's why I wanted to look at Bucky Irving because maybe we would just prefer to do an over there.
No. Terrible.
You could short Bucky Irving for a touchdown at 0.66.
Yeah, I'm not
Seems
doing
good.
that. 5
Um,
receptions for Diggs. Touchdown for Diggs?
you should probably just jam in Josh Allen and Lamar here. Like both those guys are going to try to go nuke. Like just take the over on his fantasy points.
He doesn't have one yet.
Take the over on the combined yards for him. And with Lamar, I think you want to take the over on his rushing yards.
55.5 is a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah, but they're going to play zone. Like the whole plan is like play zone, keep them in front.
Oh,
and
well,
if the Ravens are trailing,
I did miss a free one every week.
Yeah, I knew you always put this one in there.
It's hit 100% of the time. How could it fail?
Van Jefferson, a 5xer. That needs to be literally a 25xer for me to click that button.
I did bet a 25xer last week. Jake Ferguson 2 touchdowns.
You can do that on this
by Sunday morning. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
All right, we need one more.
Eric All for the Twitter drama.
Can't. I would have done.
Yes,
I would have done.
Yes.
I would have done yards.
Or dude, it's a $10. Why not?
No, I'm doing 20. I'm doing 25.
Oh, you're doing okay. Well, I still think touchdown is like not terrible. 4xer.
It's pretty bad.
Do
Andy Dalton, right? Andy Dalton, 225 passing yards. I mean, the revenge
probably would. Oh my god, the revenge. Probably just what's like a Chuba line. Probably should just take him.
High. That is very high for Chuba Hubbard.
What's his face? James Conner looking at. I guess they're not hanging any Cardinals right now.
They probably won't. Yeah, he probably won't have any. Yeah.
Rushing yards 67.5. Like everyone's gotten there.
47.5 rushing yards for Daniels.
No, don't love it.
Yeah.
I'm
doing Andy Dalton. I'm doing Andy Dalton.
Hell yeah, dude. Are we worried about no Thielen?
Leggett, baby. It's gonna do this to me again. I'm gonna have to refresh.
Thing when you gotta do it on your phone.
Yeah, it's true. The 8-pick win really did get me.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. We'll be right back.
Okay. I'll get us in a best ball resurrection, and I will make some picks before Liam gets back. Come on, guys, load for me. No, dude, I'm not gonna take your advice because you don't know ball. You're bad at watching football. Liam doesn't want to do. Liam is seeming to not want to do BRs. He's seeming to be over it. Okay, there we go. $25, $3,314 richer if we. Oh my god, it's doing it to me again. That's really annoying. I will as soon as if I can get it to go. I can't get it to refresh my. I can't get it to know my location and get it in. All right. Let's try one more time. Please know my location. I'm going to click on drafts, and then I'm going to come back to champions. My picks are still there. I enter in $25. I click play. Okay.
I'm catching up on.
I did.
On this
I
drama.
reloaded 10 times, dude. Yeah, it only ever happens to me while I'm streaming, but it is annoying.
Are you a mute man or a block man?
Mute. I mute everybody.
I've been mixing in some blocks just because I'm like, I don't need these people even.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna X out the tab, and I'm gonna come back into Underdog and see if they'll let me in. This was Waldman. It was just the tab I have open.
Waldman.
Did you catch up on the? Oh my god! All right, I'm doing it on my phone.
Reading it.
I'm doing it on my phone.
Yeah, I don't know. I had that dude muted, so I'm assuming that he is just a weird troll.
Josh Jenkins?
Yes.
Josh Jenkins lost a bet to Easy in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, and then rather than pay up his bet, he just deleted his Discord account. for like $100. It wasn't even a big bet.
I know he's a big Spike Week defender, like, so I don't know.
Well, I'm friends with Bime4. Bime4 and I have known each other for a long time.
I got no problems with them either, but I don't know. This Josh Jenkins dude is out of pocket.
Yeah. Okay. Rashad White lower touchdown. That somehow that's going to end up being the red dot.
Dude, he gets subbed in he does get subbed in still for the short yardage work.
Yeah, but if he's actually the backup, then it is inappropriately priced.
What's a Carson Steele, dude? Just do a Carson Steele over.
No, I've got it. Andy Dalton, higher passing yards. Use my. Oh, I've got a bunch of profit boosts available. All right, $25 max.
You knew that he. You should, Davis. You should jump in there and retweet Josh Jenkins and say, "Pay my man, easy."
Oh, I can't even do this because my current entry is above the $3,000 potential prize cap.
Yeah, Underdog. We need to get these. Like, I'm so envious of these people that can do these like teaser lines where you like bet $3 to win like $1 million, and it's like Xavier Worthy 150 receiving yards plus like Roma Dunze 175. Like, I wish I could do that in my state.
All right, I was able here. If you guys are in my Discord, I will share the link to this in my Discord. I was able to get it
in the chat so people can tell.
I can't do it on my phone. Oh, I guess I can pull up the chat on my phone.
No, just do it pull it up on your desktop and just.
Oh, here we go. I got it. There we go. God damn, that was. Yes, sacrilegious has confirmed himself.
Did he message you?
It's rounds 1 through 6. Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than picks 1 through 6.
That was a goddamn hassle. That took way too long. The link is in the chat. That was on me. I need people to be clear. That was on me. I've been able to fix that before, and I just was boomering right there.
I've never been able to fix it, so
I normally am able to fix it. Okay.
You want to do a resurrection?
Sure, we can do a resurrection.
It's 10% filled. That's sick. It dropped yesterday.
Yeah, these guys are.
People were fiending to get the taste of Chase Brown and these picks out of their mouth.
Oh my god. What I must have done something to my location settings
You can
on.
join that on your phone though. That
Yeah.
one, that's
But
an easy.
I'm just annoyed though. I am just in general annoyed.
I don't know. I think it's something our friends need to. Oh, 15. You want to do 15 seconds or 30?
15.
Hell yeah. Speed run.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you like this content, like and subscribe to Davis and I's YouTube show. We appreciate it. Thank you. We're both on the road to 10K.
People are saying it more and more. We are on the road to 10K. Maybe I
Are
do need to
you over
log out and
5K
log back.
already?
No. Mm-mm.
You must be close.
I am close. I changed my chat to sub only for the very first time yesterday.
Oh, did that help?
Yeah, I gained like 50 subscribers literally yesterday.
I've always done it where you need to be subscribed for at least 1 minute.
I've never done it before. So I get the John Jenkins of the world's coming in and telling me how bad I suck.
When you have that guy, like that's the level of hating I respect when they like follow you to your YouTube and like write all this on it. Like that guy, I leave alone. I'm like, all right, dude, you're miserable, but you for some reason like my content, or you like opposition bet me. I don't know, but hey,
True.
they said Davis Liam can't win BBM5 and Resurrection. Davis, we're live. I don't know if you know this, but we did some co-stream teams which are not advancing, but they're close. Let me pull it up.
Cam Ward, Liam, I don't know if you watch college football. Cam Ward, I will be drafting Cam Ward in the big board next year.
Davis, we are advancing a team that we drafted together. It is a
Wow.
Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Drake May team. We're getting
dead.
Are we getting May against Miami? I think yes.
Yeah, week 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyron, Travis Etienne, Rashad White, and Ramondre Stevenson.
Why the
Mixed
fuck
bag
do
there.
I have any Rashad White team? That is so annoying. You were probably
drafted
like,
with me.
I know what you were doing. I can hear it in your head. You're saying, I like to draft some teams like this where we do kind of like a hyper fragile, but we don't do it with Barkley and Kamara. We do hyper fragile with the guys who suck.
I just didn't think Rashad White would go to 0 by week 3. And I still don't think he's a 0, but
he is a 0. He's
you probably got us
99.
on Ramondre. I probably got us on Kyron. Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, Rashee Rice, sick. Jordan Addison, Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer seems dead. Xavier Legette, Demario Douglas, DJ Chark, Roman Wilson. And then our tight ends are Dallas Goedert and Isaiah Likely.
So it's advancing because we got the Likely game and Kyron.
And the Goddard game. And then my other team, I drafted against you, and I am winning that pod. And you are in 6th. So
good for you, man.
We'll update that.
We will take it. Okay. Let's do it.
This commenter is very truthful. Davis cracks me up saying everyone who's not a smash is a 0. You are prone to a little hyperbole.
You guys here's the thing. People right now, they're coping. You got to be honest with yourself, dude. If you have a big Rashad White bag, that's a 0, man. It's a 0.
He's not like I don't fully agree there, but it is closer. Can I see the ADPs, by the way?
Yeah.
Should we just do neighbors for the fun?
I think Nico is a much better pick.
Yeah, pass funnel Ravens. Giants play the Colts, though, which is also sick. Splitting hairs there. I think neighbors.
For sure. I would not have allowed. Yeah.
Let's not pretend that I was windmilling in Barkley and Kamara teams. That's not like that was happening.
Cam Ward to Malik Neighbors. Sign me the fuck up, dude.
I don't know, man. Neighbors get the Colts. Pretty sick. Nico gets the Nico versus the Ravens matchup seems even better than it did.
Nico just has a better quarterback, so more likely to be in really high scoring games. That's really it.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier as far as Brock Bowers versus like George Kittle. I think we do Achane, man.
Sure.
What's your take on him being one of the least efficient runners? Do we care about that? I don't really.
Rushing yards over expectation is a weird stat anyway. Like literally, Leone like DM'd me the other day and was like, "You should stop using rush yards over expectation." And every tweet, it's like a pretty bunk stat. So I was like, okay. And it doesn't in no way does it match the eye test, right?
No, it doesn't, and it's like I think he's still quarterback proof. I think we're getting Tyler Huntley, by the way.
Yeah, that's Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley to you, brother.
Yeah. Someone said Giants play the Cowboys. We Giants play the Colts week 17, by the way.
Yeah, Resurrection is just Best Ball Mania without the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, let me look at the structure because sometimes they do some wonkiness as far as like whether 2 teams advance or 3. So big differences we're seeing. Rashee Rice is a first round pick. Obviously, you don't have to care about the game theory element anymore on him. The only reason I wasn't drafting more there.
I think Rashi going behind Chase is honestly kind of cope. Like I think Rashi is
I'm
gonna score
taking
more
Chase
points
there, but I don't know. And I think the like, okay, if you knew Rice would be this level of hit, which I kind of felt that way. I guess you just don't care about the game theory element because like so many picks are bad.
If he's gonna be if he leads the NFL in targets per route run and yards per route run, like if you knew that, you would have just taken him where he was going in the big board.
So the structure of this is
Yeah,
12
week
person
5
groups.
bye teams have an extra game in Resurrection, which is super valuable.
12 person groups, 5 person groups, 5 person groups, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. 188 people in the finals, so reasonable final size. That's like roughly when I won BBM. 30K to first, 15K to second, 7,500 to third. 10th place gets 3K, so 10% of first. Pretty standard there. A min catch for the finals is $400, and these are $10 drafts. So, yeah, I don't think I'll max them. I historically don't do a lot of content or a lot of drafts in the Resurrection, but
I'm for
I'll be
sure not going to
streaming
max,
some.
but it is good content. It is good content.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. CMC goes in the 3rd round. That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I
What
wouldn't
about
take
you?
CMC until like the 10th.
Brandon Ayuk for me. He's the only healthy, legit 49er. We're on the clock, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to take DJ Moore.
Dude, I think more with Rome there is also cope a little bit, in my opinion.
Well, they should call this best ball cope. They should call this the best ball cope ball. I mean, really, that's all it is. They should the cope erection. I mean, that's all this is, dude.
I can promise you I'm not going to be windmilling in 2nd round Alvin Kamara. Let's do Zay Flowers, dude.
I kind of think
Zay Flowers correlate against Nico.
Correlates against Nico.
And if you knew Mark Andrews was dead, wouldn't you be into Zay Flowers?
They just look like they're so good at running the ball. Like Lamar's such a good rusher.
He had 10 targets in weeks 1 and 2.
Yeah,
each.
he's a good pick.
He's a great pick. And he correlates with Nico. We're setting up a game stack.
You can already see people are like, dude, I gotta just smash in some running backs.
Yes, like, that's what I'm like. I mean, I don't know. I think Derrick Henry's kind of down bad. Like he's still going at the same.
Oh, he's super down bad. That game against the Cowboys is gonna buoy him up for like the next month in people's minds. I think they should go back and watch weeks 1 and week 2 in like remotely competitive games.
Bowers is just the tight end 2 here. Not for me, but who are your top 5 tight ends if you were drafting today? And it's not Davis Mattek. You are an entity of 1,000 objective minds just trying to choose what's correct.
McBride, Bowers, Kittle, Laporta, Kincaid, I think.
Yeah, I don't like.
And McBride and Bowers, I literally would rank like literally back to back.
I still think Kincaid gets in there at the top. Just kind of like who plays for the good teams, who's going to throw touchdowns. You know, him and Shakir are the number one targets on that offense. James Cook should go ahead of Alvin Kamara to me because he's not going to we don't have age concerns. Is Cook is like a borderline. Like I think James Cook should go over Kyron. He should go over Kamara. I think it's defensible to take him over
Not over Kyron because
Achane.
the Josh Allen vulturing touchdown stuff is still very real.
That's live, but the Bills might just score 20 more touchdowns than the Rams. So it's like you have and okay, Cook dropped another touchdown, but you have to be good to be in position to like drop 25-yard touchdown passes. You know?
True. Who's the
Travis
round
Etienne,
18
man. Where is
tight
your
end?
take on where he should be going? Like, is he dead? Is he
He's not dead, just the team is just really brutal right now.
Let's do Walker, dude. Or Puka. Let's do Puka. We're strong enough to wide out.
I don't want any Rams, I don't think.
Okay. I think Puka's going to return soonish.
The thing that people are memory holding with Puka is that he was a prospect who got lower body injuries every year of his college career, stayed healthy for one NFL season, and then immediately got another lower body injury. The ADP chasing guys did not like that take. They were like, "Oh, what? He's just predisposed to getting a synovial burst in his knee." And I was like, I don't know, maybe he is just predisposed to getting a synovial burst in his knee.
Pull up the board. We're on the clock here. Yeah, I think it's a little cute to take Brian Thomas over Puka. Just take Puka, man.
You want Puka?
Yeah.
We didn't get him. I tried to do it. My fingers were not nimble enough.
Someone asked me Saquon or Cook. I mean, obviously Saquon went number 1 overall. I think you take Saquon there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like Cook over JT, I think that's a real discussion as far as how good or bad the Colts are going to be. I would take Brees and Bijan over him. Saquon, yes. Then it starts to become a discussion with like even Gibbs, which is kind of crazy.
ETN was in the game down 37, but that is not as bullish as you wanted to think it is because
anytime you say down 37.
Yeah. Not ideal. Bindles, we just took I'm assuming K9 is Kenneth Walker.
Yes.
Yeah, we just took him 58. Gibbs, the thing with Gibbs is like they're using their running backs exactly how they told us they would, which is David Montgomery is the guy. Gibbs is the A chain. He's the pace in space.
I get you still have the contingent upside, and then like we haven't seen the Lions super pushed in a game yet. You know, like they play the 49ers week 17. Couldn't we see a pace up game there? And Gibbs still being a year 2 player, like I kind of would expect him to grow even more as the year goes on. Seeing elite target totals too.
Bindles, you never have to apologize to me for giving me a click. I'll never be mad about
Yeah,
that.
I would take Cook over Jonathan Taylor. I think I'd take Gibbs still, just kind of like, but it's anchoring, you know, it's literally just like anchored to like, dude, in what universe should Cooper Kupp go pick 44, but Puka Nacua go pick 64, where I think Kupp is more injured than Puka. Is that your read on it?
Yeah, and he's older.
Yeah, like why is Puka 2 rounds cheaper than Kupp?
It's very hard to say. It's very hard to say. All right.
Jonathan Brooks, and like he would have gone way cheaper a
This
week before.
this is the spot. Well, fuck, we already have a tight end. I was gonna say this is a good spot to take Kelsey.
We are taking Kelsey. We're taking 2.
We're taking 2 without the core. I don't know.
Now let's take Stroud first. Take Stroud first. I don't know. You autoed Laporta, who is going to be a tank in ADP. I think he hurt his ankle.
I literally did not mean to. I literally did not mean to.
Where did Kincaid go, by the way? Can you pull up the board?
Kincaid went
Pick
71.
71. Yeah, I mean,
Didn't
who would
they
I rather
watch him
have?
score a touchdown?
Would I rather
they-
have Brock Bowers at pick 43 or Kincaid at 71? That's not even like a contest. I think people are like reacting extremely to what shouldn't we just take the Bills number 1, Khalil Shakir?
Yeah, sure.
Shakir is legitimately good. Is another problem for the
Isaiah Pacheco is the single worst ADP in this contest.
What is that? What is he's ruled out, dude? Like,
yeah.
what are these ADPs?
Cooper Kupp is only not on the IR because
they're out of spots.
Because of they are literally out of IR spots on their team.
Wow.
It's yeah.
We need to start hammering some running backs because we don't know when Ken Walker's playing. But yeah, like Kincaid at 71 versus Bowers at 43. Not really. Like, I think Bowers and McBride should move close. Like, if we just want to say the 6th round is where tight ends go, sure. But in what universe is McBride and Bowers like 2 rounds better than George Kittle and Kincaid? None that I live in right now. And I still think people are reacting to like, guys, a 3-week sample is a 3-week sample. You have some wacky game scripts for all these teams. And so I think Jake Ferguson is a great pick where he went. Ferguson versus Kelsey could be a discussion I'd entertain.
Yeah,
I'd rather
I don't think we know how long Marshawn Lloyd is out.
We do not know. I'm assuming he's drawing live to be a Rashad Penny late in the year, but it's not as good because he's a rookie. He's been hurt a couple times. He's out for a while though. That's
Emmanuel Wilson like seems fine.
Mike, I would rather have Khalil Shakir than Michael Pittman every day of the week.
Yeah, sure.
I think Addison's a really great pick.
Yeah, Addison is pretty good in this.
He's like the one Viking I drafted a ton of.
Emmanuel Wilson is like a total non-prospect, so it's definitely possible.
What was your take? Emmanuel Wilson got 12 carries in that game.
They're just running the goddamn air out of the ball.
Yeah, but like I was kind of surprised how much he worked in. So that's bullish. Isaiah Likely, I guess that's fair, man. Wow, Mark Andrews must be free.
I took him in the 11th round in this one the other day.
Let's get some.
Well, I've got some bad news for you. If you want a running back, they're all fucking zeros.
We're taking Jerome Ford.
We're definitely not doing that.
He operated as the RB1 again, and look at the rest of the list.
I would do. You can have
Let's
one
do Ford first.
You can have one of the Kansas City guys.
Ford first, and then one of the Kansas City guys.
Jerome Ford is as dead as Chase Brown.
Explain that logic.
He's the passing down back on the worst passing offense.
Pull up the Nathan Yonke snap count from last week because he dominated snaps.
Foreman is just going to be too big a part of that offense.
He barely played last week, Foreman.
You can have any guy you want here. The world is your oyster.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, how hurt is Warren? Like, sure, Warren, fine. I don't know, man. Like Ford's still explosive, and Foreman played way less this past week.
It's just gonna ping pong and be annoying, and then
Braylon Allen, I would have taken him. Dude, you took Wicks? Shit. I thought we took a running back.
Yeah, I moved Wicks in. I nimble fingered. No, the thing is that Chiefs players scoring less than 12 points a game are also zero.
No. He's saying that we should take. Me saying we should take Jerome Ford. You're like, no. Has to be.
No, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. I mean, Carson Steele is a zero. Shakir, not a zero. Steele was our first zero.
I don't think Steele's a zero. I think going Ford then Steele would have been my preferred way to play it. Where, like, even if Ford goes to zero with Chubb back, he gives us some time for Ken Walker to get on the field.
I assume you think Shakir is the wide receiver 1 rest of the season?
Yes, yeah. I think him and Kincaid will be the top 2 targets. And leave the light on for
I think it's Coleman.
Keon to be a big thing, yeah. And Curtis Samuel to come back healthy, you know?
Where would Juwan Jennings go in resurrection that backdated points to week 1? That is a good question. Higher. He would go where Keenan
Some
Allen just
clown
went,
would
or
take him in
Calvin
the
Ridley.
second round. So, is what would happen.
Eckler did look good before he got conked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't call that conked. He can't be like slanging concussion.
You can.
Yeah, like no, that's what I was saying about Kincaid is I think he's gonna have big games, but Shakir being legit good kind of kills the thesis of him just like being the guy. Like I don't think that's happening. It's gonna be Josh Allen point guard offense. Everyone will have their turn. And hopefully they don't blow out teams so it stays competitive. Yeah, I agree with Ross here. Like like a week ago, Kincaid was 0. Then he scored a touchdown. Some people think
11 points is more than 0, but it's not that many more points than 0, Liam.
that's
People are
the
saying.
whole point, you know? Like, I mean, Mark Andrews look at 11 points like a
All right,
waste.
then Ross, come in and draft fucking Mark Andrews and Chase Brown in the resurrection if you think that everyone has hard takes after week 2, brother.
Dude, should we take the Bears starting running back here and Roschon Johnson?
I actually do think Chase Brown is a better pick than Roschon. I think
Roschon is like legit going to be the Bears starter.
Sure.
But I don't think Chase Brown's a bad pick. He's just, you know, is what it is.
Yeah, 0 adjacent. A lot of 0 adjacent guys here. Now, see, it's so funny, like doing drafts. Like now that we've seen these guys play, like every guy after round 10, you're like, well, that guy sucks. That guy's a 0. There's no path for that guy getting there. You know,
I
it's
will
like
refuse to click Javonte Williams. Like,
right, we need another quarterback. We need to just take Goff.
Yeah. I think we're building a pretty decent team.
You know, sure. Why not? Do we have good players? Do we have any good
running
players?
back points? No, man. Like I'm unloading Fab on Roschon in teams. Like,
yeah, we didn't get our main together with Kyle yet. We didn't get our main together with Kyle.
I you know, feel like we would be crushing if we had done it. We'll have to get it back.
I don't think so.
Maybe we'll just do us two since Kyle's not in the. He's not been involved, dude. You know.
Yes. I probably
how are your mains doing?
So bad. So bad. Yeah. Yeah, terrible.
I did more on RT Sports. Pretty good over there. My mains are a mixed bag, like some teams that desperately need to win.
I've got a couple good teams on NFFC, but I mean, look at this shit. I've got a bunch of high stakes. Paid $2,000 for a team to go 0-3, $2,000 for a team to go 1-2, $2,000 for a team to go 1-1-1. Literally had a tie. $2,000.
Oh my god, a tie!
$2,000 for 1-2, $2,000 for 0-3, $2,000 for 1-2. So I'm just like, dude, I'm feeling sick.
Bro, you did a lot of mains. I didn't know you did that.
Well, you know, I'm here doing content, trying to take YouTube seriously, and just like, dude, like some of these teams are 0-3, and like they're 0-3
with no hope.
Like look at this team. I went to go and make bids for this team this morning, and I was like, literally, what's the fucking point? This team has no path. This team has Ty Chandler and Carson Steele, and injured Kenneth Walker and Braylon Allen and. Like, why is Ty Johnson? Why do I even have him?
Why aren't you starting Braylon over Ty Chandler? You're 0-3. You might as well have.
Yeah, Lou. Not for very long. I'm not doing it for a living very long.
Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Become a YouTube member.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
What's the thing is get a tight end in there.
Taysom is yeah, that and Mark Andrews. I mean, yeah, great. Sure. I got Mike Gesicki sitting there on the bench to save me.
Smash for you, dude.
Unreal.
I think that team actually has some pieces. It's got Lamb, it's got Olave, it's got Dak.
No, Eric is correct. It's just
No, we're very binary here. It's either shit or it's okay.
it's got a couple guys who are interesting, not a couple guys who are interesting on an 0-3 team. Like it's not there's no come from behind. All right, we need I don't know what do you want to do here? You got any ideas?
Click on running back. Scroll. Alexander Madison, dude, or Ray Davis.
We took
The
Jordan
15-second kick clocks are getting us. Oh, Jalen Wright, dude, he's playing, man.
How much should I have invested? I don't know, probably like $30,000 this year.
Show me the tight end position.
Tight end position. We are on the clock.
Gotta be quick. Scroll up. Dalton Schultz, yes.
Yeah, Schultz
Overreaction.
Right. Yeah.
We have Stroud too, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. In mains, there's not that much season left.
There is
because
you need to win now. Like I have a team that is like I had an 0-2 team where we faced the second highest score. He scored like 180 and we scored like 190 to go 1-2. And then if T. Higgins catches a touchdown, I'd go 1-2 in another league. But now we're 0-3. So yeah, it's probably over. But like, if you could string together some wins, so many teams are usually live going into the last week to make the playoffs. Because 4 teams make it. It's top record, top points. So I don't know. Jacob, Ron, and I drafted a good team together.
Yeah, I've got a couple teams on the NFC that are better. Although I think me and Nate and Sammy might literally have drafted the worst team in the entire.
What an electric trio that is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. This is yeah. Oh, I thought we literally the last time I checked, we had one that was like literally in last place of the entire contest. This team is in 411th. It seems bad. This is actually a team I'm like legit optimistic about. We're not that far behind.
The site that like rugged people or something, or there was like a super user or something?
They didn't. They had an employee who was changing lineups after lock. So it was in multiple contests. They had an employee who was changing.
And I guess we would just have no idea if that occurred on the FFPC. Like I doubt it's happening, but
no, they just do it themselves. They just are like, actually, all those teams you spent all offseason drafting, the positions you allocated, they just flopped them, or we just didn't feel like it, so we
juggle them around.
Yeah. This team is actually very much not dead, but we don't have a quarterback. But we
got Caleb, dude. That's totally fine.
Yeah, we have A-Chain and Kyron, and we have wide receivers who are not dead, and we have Kincaid instead of Andrews. So maybe this will be maybe that's how I get money back this year. I don't know.
Well, you also have a current playoff team with me in BBM5, so we could chop up $1.5 million, Davis. In which case, I am giving you your money via a wheelbarrow. I'm just gonna like drive it to your house and unload it.
Of money?
Yeah, like if we win BBM5 together, I'm just gonna do it like that. Not Gibson. Emmanuel Wilson, I think, is good. Vidal, I think, is good.
Vidal is the thesis is actually improved for him.
Yeah, in both ways.
But his ADP. Yeah, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, we did this.
Jacob is like J.K. Dobbins' #1 fan, and I think he's obviously been a good pick to date, but he was the least efficient runner last week.
Jacob Sanderson is not his biggest. Is that true?
In chats with me, he comes across that way. So
okay,
Davis and Ron are like, no, Dobbins is a lock starter, and I'm like, I think we play worthy over him sometimes. Like, dude, Alec Pierce. Why are we not drafting him? He. By the way, guys, Alec Pierce should not go after Adonai Mitchell in drafts.
Yeah.
Like it's in best ball, especially like great piece. So yeah, like I think it's really unknown on J.K. Dobbins. I want your take on this, where I could see it going a couple ways still. I could see it being like, okay, obviously Herbert's injured, the tackles are injured, that's bad. But your efficiency doesn't care about that. It's just like an objective measure of are you getting what's blocked or not. And he was not efficient last week against the Steelers. In fact, he was the least efficient, less efficient than DeAndre Swift, for example, via next gen stats. So I think it's possible. He's James Robinson. He had a good game or two to start the year, and he was explosive, but injury and time catches up to everyone. I also would accept he's going to get healthier as the year goes, whatever, like that. And then Gus Edwards looks terrible. He was on next gen stats.
No, dude, you are. I'll just say this. I'm Team Jacob and Ron here. J.K. Dobbins is going to be awesome for fantasy as long as he's healthy. Just is what it is.
So we're just throwing it because to me, week 1 and week 2, he played the worst rushing defenses in the NFL. He played the Panthers and the Raiders. So you can't turn it around and be like, well, he was only inefficient because he played the Steelers. It's like you can't say that and ignore the fact that he was super inefficient this week. So rushing yards over expected. J.K. Dobbins was at minus 33. DeAndre Swift was at minus 30.
I just told you, Leone told me that stat is bunk, dude. And if Leone says the stat is bunk, I'm not arguing against him.
Which one is fine? Rushing percent over expected?
Rushing yards over expectation. The way they somehow the way they calculate it, Leone says it's not good.
I'm asking you.
I prefer success rate. I'm more of a success rate bro, except for when it's obvious that a player is not trying to, like Kenneth Walker. Like Kenneth Walker doesn't give a shit about success rate.
Where are you pulling the success rate on?
Pro Football Reference.
Okay. Well, Next Gen Stats only has rushing yards over expected, and Dobbins was bad at that. The guys who were bad at that last week: Dobbins, Swift, Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara, Kyron Williams, Achane, James Cook. Yeah, I guess it's like Achane, James Cook, you don't care because they're explosive. You could say the same thing for Dobbins. Debatably still explosive.
Damn, I was literally about to take Andy Dalton.
We need a running back, dude. I think Gibson is fine now.
Dude, we're the only one who have we're the only guys that took Tyler Bidet in Best Ball Resurrection. I would rather have Tyler Bidet than Cam Akers. I got to watch Cam Akers play, and I was like, shit, that is a Cam Akers. He looks like Cam Akers.
Touchdown even people didn't deserve that. He was a face.
I was like big on Akers last week too, and I saw him play, and I was like, immediately, that's wrong. Like immediately.
That spin move was cool though.
The spin move was cool, but that's his only move. I mean, that's literally his only move.
He's just spamming the X button.
Yes, he has got absolutely nothing else.
What do you think we need for this team? I don't think a second quarter. I don't think a third quarterback.
I think you always want a third running back. Yeah.
Goff. Take Eric Saubert, dude.
It's too late. I don't have nimble.
Someone mentioned Ertz early, and that got in your head. You're like, yes, I need Ertz. He's gonna trend down, dude. Right?
Eric All already went. John Jenkins was in this draft. He already took him.
He screenshotted Sam Sherman and said, "Suck it, dude." Oh, we could.
I want to go. I need to go get appraised of this drama.
Can you? I'm gonna look at it later. Can you show the draft board because I want to see where Eric All went?
He went right here, 198.
Dude, can someone Photoshop Tosho to Sam Sherman? And we can tweet this photo out. I think Noah Brown's a good pick. Tommy Tremble is not a good pick, although I guess with Dalton maybe it is. Tutu Atwell's a good pick.
Tutu Atwell's a really good
pick.
Should
not be going in the 17th round. Like he is gonna I just kind of refuse to believe this was the plan for him if he didn't have turf toe. I don't think he's going to be a 0 all year.
What element do you want me to inspect, Chris?
I think that's you can right click inspect element and probably change it to Sam Sherman, but I don't know how to do that, Chris.
I can do this.
Really?
I think. I've got it pulled up, but I don't know. I'll have to find the I might not be smart enough.
I think Ricky Pearsall's a good pick.
Oh, Ricky Pearsall is a really good pick. Yeah.
I think Alec Pierce, man, like that's a pretty much a steal as far as
yes. So I pulled up the expect one. If I was smart, I could definitely do it. Okay, I'll control F. All right, I'll control F.
That's kind of cool. You can just change what we see on the internet.
Inspect.
You should put Bindford in here too.
Command F.
Change all the players to fuck you,
To
Sam Sherman.
show 81. How do I change it though? I don't know. This is above and beyond. This is above and beyond my technical abilities.
All right, read off the team that we did.
Okay, we drafted this team out of the 10 hole in Best Ball Resurrection. Nico Collins, Devin A-Chain, DJ Moore, Zay Flowers, Kenneth Walker, Sam Laporta, CJ Stroud, Khalil Shakir, Carson Steele, Dontavian Wicks, Roshan Johnson, Jared Goff, Jordan Whittington, Dalton Schultz, Kamani Vidal, Alec Pierce, Tyler Bidet. That's what he said.
I misspoke on my waiver video. I thought Blake Watson was Bidet. I was like, oh yeah, I heard some buzz about this guy. No, he's like a journeyman, right?
Yeah, well, he was pretty interesting at Missouri. He caught 112 passes his 4 years there. And he he's one of those guys who went to the Ravens and never really caught on.
Oh, yeah, he was on the Ravens. I remember now.
Okay.
I think Roshan Johnson's a really good pick by us. Like, just getting, like, his ADP was not there, I assume. I still think Blake Corum and Trey Benson are good picks. Like, I'm not dropping these guys in managed. The Broncos players, like, yeah, I was of the camp that we should probably just not draft semi-expensive players on bad teams. So you got outs to Bo Nix developing into a really good player, but I don't know, man. Kind of rough in a week where they beat the Bucks, that they were super inefficient. So, don't know.
Correct. Dude, I am so deep in the rabbit hole of HTML right now. I think I got it.
We got a second career for Davis budding right now. Roshan Johnson gives me Kendre Miller vibes. I don't understand how that could be your take at all. Like, he played last week and he caught 4
Dude,
balls.
I did it.
Oh, yes. Okay. So get Sam Sherman in here.
But Parilla has to be Bime
or Josh Jenkins. Like,
I don't want to give Josh Jenkins the pub.
Well, he needs to be a character though for this to be funny. Like, it's kind of like you make him Josh Jenkins and then you make Bine for the guy before, and then you screenshot it and you're like, wow, guys, you're gonna let Sam Sherman get the Eric Allshare and whatever.
Fuck, my Grammarly thing is in the way. Do you use that to write?
Grammarly? No.
There you go, guys.
You got it. Yeah, and then just change the other. Like, you got to add like myself, yourself, Pete. Hit him with the gritty in there. Just like get like a very niche collection of people.
Okay. All right. We're really stretching my abilities.
Get Soccer Dave in there and just like make sure he's the Deshaun Watson drafter.
This is not nearly as it's not gonna be as funny. This is I'm undoing this. This is not funny.
The funniness is right now, but
yes, I'm shutting this down. It's not going to be as good of a bit. This is going to be like a 17 like tweet. I'm not.
How many people are watching our stream? Guys, do you all promise to like this tweet if Davis tweets it out?
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. It's as good as it's going to get right now. Yeah, someone can screenshot this and post it on Twitter right now, and they can highlight that Eric All just went at 198 to Sam Sherman. Here, I'll do it. I'll take a screenshot right now. I'll take a screenshot of our stream.
Just imagine how funny the niche best ball consumers would find this.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually just gonna post it in Pete's Discord. That's what I'm gonna do.
There you go. Sure.
That's a good middle. That's a good middle.
But Josh Jenkins is banned from there, dude. He closed his account.
This will get like 19 Laugh Rogers.
The hurricane is like debatably starting over here. So
yeah. So are you worried about Tampa and Philly this weekend?
More concerned about myself, my friends, and etc. But sure, that game too. I mean, I think it's going to be fine.
The no caps did ruin the bit, but I'm not inspecting the element again. Although now I do know how to inspect an element.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little envious that the chat gave you this coaching because I don't know how to do this, and I think
it is pretty easy. I never would have gotten there. I never
you could do, like
I never would have gotten there without someone telling me to Command F. I wouldn't have thought that Command F would work in that, but now I know.
I just think like this is the gift that keeps on giving during the summer.
What do you? Kevontae Turpin ran 12 routes last week, but Brandon Cooks is so bad. He could get more routes.
Yeah, he showed something in the past. I think Cooks can go to 0 at any time. I mean, like I feel like a discussion point next year, which is like not going to be salient, but could be uttered by someone, is like you want pass catchers that aren't going to be double covered, man. Like CeeDee Lamb, you don't want they either got to be Justin Jefferson and beat the double covered, or you don't want him to be double covered. So that's why you need the Jalen Tolberts of the world, or the Kevontae Turpins, or whatever. The Jalen Nailers.
No, you know exactly what's going to happen next year. It's old school fantasy football. It's the magic formula. I remember when I first started listening to fantasy podcasts, there was this fantasy podcast I listened to that had the magic formula. And you know what? Guess what the magic formula was?
2 running backs to start your draft.
2 running backs to start your draft, dude. That's literally all it was. That's literally all it was.
I remember going into this year, like after last year, I was like, okay, next year I'm going to draft hero running back 100% or one running back in the first 2 rounds, 100% of my drafts. Like I'm not going to do 0. And then draft season rolled around. I'm like, fuck it. Like Zach Moss is there. Rico Dowdle's there. I'm going 0 RB, baby. No, I think running backs will make a little resurgence, but like, I think anyone declaring 0 RB as dead is like not following the season. Like Jordan Mason is a solid hit. Zach Charbonnet is a solid hit. Zach Moss is there. Roshan Johnson's got a change. Like there's all these guys giving you weeks. And other than like Saquon, no one's really smashing at the top of drafts. Okay, JT had a good week. Kyron had a good week. Achane is a good pick, but he's like, give that one to the wide receiver bros. I don't know. What's your take on all this?
My take is that running backs are probably going to score more points than wide receivers or maybe not more, but it'll be closer than it ever was because of the way the defenses are playing. And a lot of these wide receivers that we boosted up and wish casted are not as good as we thought they were. Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, T. Higgins.
Chris Olave is good, man. I think
Chris Olave is pretty good. Yeah. So the issue is, this is true. So your running back teams are not drafted for the first 3 weeks. But what happened is that in years past, Saquon, you would have had to have taken Saquon in the first round. Now, in this landscape, you could have started Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, Saquon Barkley. And instead, what people were doing,
some in the third.
I took some in the third too, but the fact it's just, I don't know, man. I just think I probably can't win this year. I think I'm just locked out.
I need you to open your third eye, Davis, because here's what's going to happen. The cold season rolls around, and what comes with that? Defensive coordinators think, you know what I don't need to do anymore? I don't need cover 2. It's windy. It's cold. They can't throw in this. Better yet, they're tired. They're tired. They're done to doing this cover 2. They're done with all these Wow, Alvin Kamara. Davis is smiling.
Imagine Saquon Barkley has a stomach bug and we just get like a week reprieve. Like, I don't want Barkley to be injured, but can I just get a week reprieve? Just a 1 week reprieve of getting buried by Saquon?
Everyone prayer circle Chase Brown 2 touchdowns this week. Do it for honestly, my advance rate, I'd be like maybe advancing 5 teams if I didn't get that Zach Moss touchdown and Jamar Chase week. Like, I don't know. All right, Davis, should we call it a day?
Sure. Yeah, let's call it a day, man. We did some good bits. I learned how to inspect an element. I gotta go get caught up on this Twitter drama. Gotta finish my.
I gotta do that, and I gotta move a bunch of shit inside for the hurricane. Someone says they're in Tampa. It's raining where I am, so I don't know. Please please subscribe. Also, if you like chess content, I launched the chess YouTube channel. Liam Teaches Chess. Help me out trying to get 1,000 subscribers over there. Davis, what you got coming down the pipeline?
Streaming, doing the Battle Royale Sims show tomorrow with Nerdy and with Brian. Then
how's that been going? Tell me about that. I haven't caught any.
Basically, it's like Nerdy kind of built this tool to do his DFS sim process for Battle Royale, but it's not done. Like it's not very refined.
Is his take like I'm getting it in good, like I'm smashing?
No. He's like
passion project of his, or
well, so he is getting it in good in the uncorrelated games. Like he's like built models and stuff for like PGA and some of these other sports, like just as kind of like a thought experiment because he loves that stuff. And so he's like, well, I want to try and build it for a correlated game with more opponents. I think that's what he said. I think he said it's not robust yet. So we're just trying it out and thinking through the theories of how to do it.
Like, I bet it will be really good. It's just like,
it's cool. And I need to draft the teams anyways. And it's good content for the end game boys. And then the sports betting show with Reeves on Friday. And then I think Big T and I are doing the Pick'em show on Friday, which is very fun. That's very cool stuff.
Yeah. When I worked my first office job, like out of college, I would listen to podcasts, and I didn't even like know who, like I would listen to Roto Grinders, and I think like Big T, Jam to Win, some other guys I don't even know. Like I was like, I wonder where that Jam to Win guy went. And then I saw him pop up on Pete's thing. It's just kind of funny how
he runs 1 week season and flies. Yeah. He lives in a non-DFS state, so he gets on a flight once a week, does a 45-minute flight, and then flies back every week.
I love the advice in the chat here. Someone says, just try to get a chess match going with one of the biggest chess streamers. That will really boost your channel. Dave, if you got her contact, if you can get Obama on my chess channel, I'll also take him. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I'd be willing to play games with them. So Liam Teaches Chess. Check it out. For Davis, for myself, let's have a great, healthy week. If you're not having a great week in best ball, maybe it turns around,
or maybe it doesn't.
And then you'll get them next year.
It's just one slate. It's just one slate. Get the Botez sisters. I know
I
them.
Actually went to her house one time in New York to a party.
I know them because one of them's dating a big poker player. I forget.
Before she was huge, I went to her house for like a chess party. It was kind of weird, but
yeah. You're telling me a chess party is not lit? Hard to believe.
It was like it was weird, man. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But
unbelievable. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We're getting out of here. See you guys later.
Peace.